Anthony are no strangers to scandal. Opie and Anthony on satellite radio.
Apparently, Opie and Anthony are dicks.
Oh, here they go again.
It's a fun, dopey radio show.
Not just any radio show. A radio show that inspires beyond your wildest dreams.
The show was a lot funnier on NEW.
The show's hosts, Anthony Cumia and Greg Opie Hughes.
Controversial team.
6 years without getting fired, a new record for us.
It's just astounding to me.
I didn't want to say it's racist, but goddamn.
This show will rock as best as we could possibly do this radio show.
I'm going to go home and whack to a tranny later. There you go, all right?
God, we just lost our demo, man. What's wrong with you?
This is the last straw for the raunchy radio duo.
The Opie and Anthony Show, the most popular show in the history of satellite radio.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, let's do this, man. Wow. God, we had a lot of guests yesterday. We have a lot of guests today. Bill Burr, Ginger Lynn, Mick Foley, and Chris Morris all making appearances on the Opie and Anthony Show today. Wow.
Busy.
We got a fire rolling. Now there's too many guests. Oh, this is really loud.
Wow.
Thank you.
That music was loud.
And are we going to have Penn Jillette next week? Okay, good. Because I know he's around. We love the Penn Jillette when he stops by.
Have in.
Yep.
Sure.
One of the guys that was happy to talk to me and Sam at Comic-Con.
Penn Jillette?
One of the great, yes, he's great.
He's a solid dude.
Very solid guy, man.
He doesn't have to be doing our show. We like when the A-listers do our show.
Yeah.
He's like an A-minus lister, right? He's right there.
Yeah, he's right there.
He's just about an A-lister.
Legendary guy, man. Everybody knows who Penn is.
Oh, my God, he's great.
Everybody
Just
knows
fucking
who he
around.
is.
I don't want...
A-listers are your Tom Cruises.
And your Brad Pitts.
And your Brad Pitts.
Was Brad Pitt in our neighborhood yesterday, Jimmy?
Yeah, he had some kind of... He had that premiere for that cartoony thing he's
But was
doing.
he in town for
Is
it?
he on 66th Street?
He's doing that cartoony thing.
No, I know. I saw him setting up, but I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if the big Brad Pitt would show up because it's just his voice.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see a commotion outside the theater, so I'm imagining it wasn't a Brad Pitt appearance.
I don't
for the
know.
I
movie.
saw his picture in the newspaper.
Oh, then
Not
I guess
sure
he
where
was in. He must have been in town for
A lot
that
of these
then.
guys have to go to these things contractually, I think.
Chris Morris at 9:15. I'm so excited to talk to this guy. I thought it was just a basic booking. There's a movie out called Four Lions. We got an advanced copy. I watched it. Jimmy watched it, and Sammy watched it there. And man, what a great fucking movie, huh?
I had heard about this. It's about four bungling suicide bombers, and it's a comedy from England. And I remember we had talked about it on Red Eye 6 months ago, which meant, I don't know if that meant it was out or if that was just a little trailer they were showing for it.
Well, I would imagine it's the type of movie that's got to have like a grassroots thing happening to it. You can't just shove this into a million movie theaters.
No, this should be in every theater in the country. It's fucking hilarious, this movie.
It's a British comedy. It's that
hilarious.
British humor. Yeah.
And
America,
not PC.
No, America just doesn't make comedies like they do in Britain. They don't hold back as much in Britain. In general.
And for them, Islam is like black and white is here. Like they're even more PC with Islam in Britain than they are here. So this is even more amazing that this guy did this. I'm guessing he did do it in England. Fucking, it restored my faith in comedies. I loved this movie. Loved it.
I was thinking that like England is worse when it comes to placating to the Muslims than we are here.
Yeah, much.
So how do they get away with that? And do you think this would widespread in the U.S., like opening in a lot of theaters? Do you think a lot of people would be like, oh, what is like not get it?
It's not. It's very dialogue heavy as far as the humor, which is great. Really funny, bungling moments that are just
bumbling idiots.
They're idiots, but
they believe in their cause.
They believe in their cause. They're jihadists, and I won't give it away, but they're looking for a place to blow themselves up. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie's about. These five guys. One of them is pretty smart. The guy who's kind of running, and the frustration he has with dealing with these fucking idiots. Trying to get them into a training camp in Afghanistan.
And they
really good, man.
They fucked that up. We could say that much,
They
can't we?
fucked up a lot.
They fucked up their training overseas. They had to come back home with an excuse of what went wrong. So then they decide they're going to just do it locally.
Yeah, they just decides to, all right, we'll do this. Really great, though.
And they all had just info that's wrong.
I'll have to check that out.
I do.
tonight.
I could not recommend a comedy higher than this.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I don't want to give too much away.
It's only opening in New York and L.A., I think, which, again, it's depressing that a great comedy like this.
Well, they're going to see how the numbers do, and if enough people go out and see it, which I doubt will happen, unfortunately, because the movie's getting great reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, then they would open it other places.
It's really smart. It's really different. And there's a couple of great moments. It's just really... It's not just dialogue. I mean, there's some really funny shit. And there's some things that happen in this that you'll probably never see happen in an American comedy. Ever.
No.
Yeah.
Ever.
No. Can we talk about the neighbor, the woman?
Yeah, I think so, sure.
Just giving away the one thing where they're going to their sort of like hideout to, plot and plan a little bit, and the neighbor catches them. So they kind of have to admit they're all gay and they're going to have gay sex because they don't want anyone onto them.
Yeah, because
she all of a sudden goes, you guys are gay.
She's like, no, I know what this is. And they got like chemicals in the room. And there's 5 Islamic men. And she's like, I know what this is. And they're like, And then you're thinking they're going to kill her.
Right.
And she's like, you're all Paki something. Like she used the word for fag in England.
Right.
And the guy's like, yeah, we're gay. We are. It was very fucking funny, man. When all 5 of these Islamic jihadists had to pretend they were homos.
Yeah.
Really good.
Just to protect their plan.
Yeah, I think this guy did a lot of things that would really upset Islamic jihadists.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to have to ask him about that.
There's no way this went completely unnoticed. It couldn't have.
87% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which means it'll do 500 people in the theaters because I love it so much.
No kidding. Yeah, because we love to observe and rapport, and that did nothing in the theaters. And it was way better than Mall Cop.
I never saw Mall Cop, but I
tried Mall Cop. I tried it. Yeah. I didn't get to the hour mark before I had to leave. And I was really trying to get through the entire movie. I really was.
Yeah.
But Observe and Rapport, way better mall movie than fucking Mall Cop. Sorry, Adam Ferrara, we love you. Anyway.
Is he in that?
Yeah, and Ellis Mate was in there as well. And
he knows. I told him.
Huh?
I like Kevin a lot, too.
It doesn't matter. He don't care. I mean, he was in a blockbuster movie. What do we know? We're stupid. We're the ones that are stupid. Not everyone that went and enjoyed the movie, right?
Yeah.
I believe, oddly enough, England is trying to get a bunch of YouTube videos removed of radical Muslim clerics spouting their shite.
That's why.
That's a weird line, too, man.
So, yeah.
Opie's videos, it's what you pointed this out. Your video couldn't be on YouTube. Islamic clerics are on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've had a bunch banned over the last year.
That guarantee that some of YouTube it just doesn't like
you. Bill Schultz that you do Red Eye with. I showed his open wound in his back. Remember that fucking thing? That could have been MRSA or whatever it was. Nasty fucking wound. I shot that. They yanked that one as well.
Because I think somebody
How do they yank that, but they allow this shit on YouTube?
Somebody doesn't like you at YouTube. That's personal. Guaranteed that's personal.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, you know what I mean? That has to be.
Just doesn't make sense.
No.
It doesn't make sense.
But they are their own entity. They could do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but it's really annoying.
It sucks, yeah.
We drank with the fucking guys that started YouTube in Vegas. The little Asian guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not there editing all the videos.
No, of course.
Yeah, but if you get in touch with him, though, it might help.
I forgot his name. No, I think
Bobby Lee.
Yeah,
it was Bobby Lee. It was Bobby Lee. Yeah, and
Bobby Lee is fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's out of his fucking mind.
He sold YouTube like 4 years ago.
Okay.
We were drinking with him right around the time he was selling and becoming a multi-billionaire or something. We always get to party with the billionaires for a moment or two.
Yeah, for a second.
Think Priceline.
I never met a billionaire to my knowledge.
Oh, really?
No.
They're assholes.
They
They're
probably
complete
should be.
and utter assholes.
Are they?
They don't share any of their money with anybody. We were paying for the drinks. Hello, you're going to make a fucking $1 billion tomorrow. How about you buy around?
Really?
I don't know. I don't even remember.
I'm so stupidly gullible.
Just making shit up for the radio.
Hate myself. Really? Come smeller.
No, we did hang out. We did hang out with him and drink a little bit with the guy, but whatever.
I was watching a documentary about evangelicals on HBO, and oh my God, just the Midwest and what's going on. It was just these people driving through and videotaping all these giant crosses and the Lord will come, giant billboards everywhere. and then going to these church things that are in 35,000 seat arenas, where a minister, whatever it is, gets up there, starts yapping, and the people do that. Look, they put their arms up, shut their eyes, and look up with a big smile on their face. And then they ask him, why does everybody look so happy? and they answer like, well, we know that life is eternal through Jesus, and we have great family lives, and bloody, bloody, blah.
Right.
And why wouldn't anybody be happy? And they got to put a little disclaimer at the bottom that one of the ministers they were talking to was removed for sexual misconduct. It's just like, of course he was. Of course he was. They all look like these creepy, ghoulish, something's fucking wrong with them.
Were they white guys or
guys.
black guys?
I did not see one black fellow in the entire documentary. The best, though, was, because they show, everybody knows about Christian rock bands and whatnot. The best was, Jimmy, the Christian comic. This guy was a hoot.
Oh, we got it here.
Let me tell you, was he funny?
So let's play some clips of this.
Yeah, I would love to hear the Christian comic.
The Christian comic.
How do we hear this guy?
He's probably on there, yeah. But is that
You
the
got his
guy?
name?
He's got a little spiky hairdo or something. He's like preaching, and just because of the way he's delivering it, he thinks it's funny.
Is it?
And the people in the crowd are like, no!
Are they laughing?
Yes! Is it? I don't know if that's him.
You got to realize, I grew up ultra conservative,
No.
Christian,
How
ultra
gay
conservative.
is
Like,
he?
very conservative. Like
I
we
don't know
didn't.
who this is.
It's like that's been cool about traveling around and seeing different churches and how people worship God. Again, the creativity of God is amazing. Like I'd never seen anybody sing with their hands up till the first tour. We were talking about it during the break, but the first tour I did was with Clay Cross, and I did a 15-minute bit, and I started walking up the aisle, and Clay got up and started singing "I Surrender All," and I remember walking by this lady who was so lost in worship that she was singing with her hands up, lifting holy hands to God, and I'd never seen that before when I walked by her, and I just, didn't know what she was doing. I know. I thought she wanted a high five.
That's your...
At the missing link. They had never found any...
Not missing link. No, they have bones. They have skeletal remains of the Neanderthal man. Yes, they do. They do.
They don't have any fossils
That were found around their simple tools that they used to...
look that up because they
Holy shit!
You're denying...
There are skeletal remains.
If you want to believe that exists, go ahead, but it doesn't exist.
You can't believe it
Wow.
because it kills your theory, dude.
Wow.
It destroys your entire belief system.
That's not true.
You're saying you don't think that they have bones.
It comes down to faith.
No,
You've never seen in museums a skull of a Cro-Magnon man that was found around tools that he used? That's a rumor?
It's absolutely a rumor.
I've seen them. I've seen them. I have not. I was in the museum. I was in the Museum of Natural History here in New York, one of the biggest, the premier museum of natural history.
On the other side,
What is it? What was I looking at?
What was he looking at?
What was I looking
Some
at?
kind of art project that someone made.
Sometimes they do that. They had a big farce where
Paper mache, right?
The big farce.
It's paper mache from a third grader.
So it's a lie. So those bones that are pawed over by scientists that visit the museum, take these bones out, study them, do carbon dating on them. That's all a big conspiracy.
The scientists are part of the conspiracy.
Then what is it?
Let's get
What
Jesse
is it?
Ventura
Then
on
what's the museum displaying if I saw Neanderthal man bones?
It's just what Jim said before. It comes down to faith. It's where you start. When scientists get into their field, a lot of times...
What is it that he's looking at?
What was I looking at?
Stop with your theories. What is it?
What was I looking at?
I'm telling you that there's been a lot of different times where there's been people that have produced bones. It just ends up being a giant farce. It ends up being a ridiculous thing that they just took some other bone and they put stuff together.
No, we understand those.
Wow.
I've seen those. They're hoaxes.
So you're admitting it.
Yes. I've seen some hoaxes, but I'm not saying the Neanderthal. That's fact. They found them in little communities of bones with simple tools around them in excavation sites. They've found this.
Right, and we already talked about DNA and how you can prove that there was only one person between 6 and 10,000 years ago.
It's nonsense.
No,
it's nonsense.
That's crazy
You just keep hanging on to that.
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
You believe what you want to believe. That's fine.
I'm listening to you. It's nonsense what you're saying.
I believe that's ridiculous. The point of my call is just to say that it's faith on both sides, and you want to believe.
Tell yourself whatever you want.
No. It's faith on your side.
No,
it's science
There you
on
go.
our side.
You believe that?
It's science. It's backed up with science. You're using science to try to back up your side of it. We're using science to uncover the truth. Fact.
You're not even using science, man. You couldn't add the virus question.
I gave you two laws of physics in the beginning.
No, you didn't give me laws of physics. You didn't give me laws of physics.
So the chaos proof means nothing.
It's amazing.
The law of thermodynamics that says that you can't get matter. You can't create matter from energy means nothing.
No, it's a big farce created by some crazy scientist.
it's
Big farce. It's really selective what you believe in science. And
It's been disproven.
And you think that scientists all over the world are collaborating.
Let me give you your answer. No.
You seem to think that all scientists. This is why, by the way, people can't stomach religious people.
Yep.
Because you talk over everybody.
I'm not religious.
Whatever you are. Whatever you are.
You are. You don't even know you are? If you believe this drivel, you are.
You try to label me into a religious circle, and then as soon as I say that I'm not religious, you change it.
But you believe this drivel, so you have to be.
You want to call it drivel? That's fine.
It's shit, dude. Your belief system is shit.
Yeah, right.
All right, Scott.
One, so you guys win because you get to yell louder than I do and call.
You've talked over
Apparently
everybody.
not.
You wouldn't even. You know what? You little rude cunt. You wouldn't even say hello when you got on the phone. You were so hyped up. I said hi to you twice. Fuck
Why
you.
call me a rude cunt?
Because I said hi to you
'Cause
twice.
you're a rude cunt.
I said hi to you twice.
Anywhere. I'm giving you.
That's because you didn't start with a high.
Dude, I said hello to you twice. Keep babbling.
All
Keep
right, Scott.
babbling.
All right.
Keep babbling, Scott.
All right. Thank you, Scott. All right, Scott.
Keep
Thank
babbling.
You. Thank you.
Yeah, Neanderthals are a big ruse. What a dummy.
I blame the fucking Flintstones.
But again, that's what you deal with.
Yeah, how does he explain that?
Irrational fucking his belief system is so tied. You keep yelling at the radio. I know he's yelling at his radio.
Yeah.
No, wait. Do you know how many girls he probably could have fucked if he wouldn't have been such a dummy?
Are you yelling at?
I guarantee you, I've done better with women than you've ever had in your life.
Oh, wow. Shit!
Now you're all right.
Shit.
Okay.
Out of everything you've said, that fact is the worst.
I'll give you the Neanderthal argument if you don't delude yourself into thinking that. The prostitutes count?
For you, maybe.
I know, stupid. That was the joke.
Oh my God!
All right, Scott. You got Jimmy with that one.
Yeah, good one, Scott.
I don't know what to tell you on that.
You listen to the right show.
Very good.
I've
You got
had
it.
it
You
with
got
him.
it.
I've done better with girls than you ever have. Good one. Good one.
Let's go to Steve in Michigan. Steve!
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I just got to say, a douche like this drives me nuts.
He's a douche.
I'm a Christian. We don't have all the answers. None of these guys have the answers. Who knows? God could have invented evolution. Why can't they just admit they don't know and just have whatever faith?
Yeah,
they
why
have?
couldn't a greater entity, a great power, God, whatever you want to call it, have put in place the makings for evolution? And then knowing that cells will divide, viruses will divide, things will adapt and become other things. Why can't that be part of the grand plan?
I'm a fan that God was a scientist. I like that theory. The greatest scientist of all time.
Yes.
Or why
Why not?
Why does God
Why
have to be a
not?
slave to a 7-day work week? Why does God have to? Why does a 24-hour? Why are fucking religious people such literal irritants where they think that 24 hours has to be what God meant by a day instead of realizing it could have been symbolic?
God's day is probably one of our millions of years.
Exactly.
The definition could have been very different.
Yeah.
But they hang on to that literally.
All right, Steve. Thank you, sir.
Literally. No, God meant 24 hours. Because God has what? Does he use military time or regular time?
Yeah.
Megan in
Idiotic.
D.C. Megan.
And with the whole universe, he just uses Earth's rotation around the sun as his time base.
Of course he
That's
does.
God's stopwatch.
Of course he does.
It's the Earth going around the sun. Never mind, like Pluto going around the sun, or
Right.
some other planet, or the universe itself.
Or Jupiter for 10 hours, a 10-hour rotation.
How self-centered to think you're the one God bases everything on.
It really is a self-obsession to think that this creator of the universe really has exactly 24 hours a day period.
Yeah.
What do you think the rest of the stuff out there is, besides a big rumor, obviously?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think a light year is?
It's far.
Oh, what children?
He created the universe, right?
Children.
Not just Earth. All right, let's go to Megan in D.C. Megan.
You're right, children.
Hey guys, I have got a cold, so I'm not going to sound that good.
Oh.
This guy is so infuriating. I don't even know where to start. First of all, one of his main points, he's using, if he has no faith in science, why is he using the law of physics to back up his main point about energy?
Yeah, because they have ran out of answers to science. They've run out of just being able to say, well, that's your opinion, because science has become so good at proving things that now they use the science that evolutionists use to promote creationism because they have no other choice. So they take it all half-assed, twist it around, and use it for their own purposes.
Because for years, religion just completely flew in the face of science.
Right.
And then they started to look so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so stupid that they had to do. It's almost like addressing. And I know this guy's saying who called in said he was not religious, so I'm not going to say he's a Christian or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he believes he's not. Fine. Maybe he's not. But like for years they denied the sexual abuse, and then they finally had to address it.
Right.
This is they denied what science said, and then they finally had to address it because they realized how stupid they looked.
Yeah.
And they did look stupid, and they still do.
All right, Megan.
6,000 years.
Science, but they're just 500 years behind the time because he's still trying to use science to say that we shouldn't trust science.
Yeah, he did try to make that argument. But what about mummies, too? Can't we prove that mummies are pretty fucking
carbon
old?
dating, they're 500 years old.
Carbon dating's a guess. Is it a guess, really? Do you know the science behind carbon dating? It's not exact. They can't narrow it down to, the nearest tens of years for the most part. But as far as millions of years go, yeah, they get a pretty good fucking hit on that. Pretty sweet range.
All right, Megan, thank you. Hey, the Christians are checking in. We got Eric in Ohio. Eric, sorry.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hi. Hey. You're speaking for a lot of Christians right now. Go ahead.
No, don't put that on me. Hey, I'm a Christian with a lot of questions, and this guy's a nutcase. He's, I probably don't fit in real well at any church because I have the same questions you guys have. I have faith, but I also have faith in science. So, I don't just turn a blind eye to it and go, oh, no. That guy's an idiot. He's making the rest of us look like idiots.
He was a twat. The minute he got on the phone, it's weird. When you say hi to somebody twice and they just barrel into it, the guy's a twat. And I know you're listening, and that's why I hated you more than any reason.
And I think part of faith is the fact of knowing that, look, I don't have all the answers, but I have faith. I have enough faith that I don't need all the answers. These guys now are trying to come up with answers. Like, you could just say, my faith tells me that there is a God. I don't believe in evolution. I believe in creationism. I can't tell you why. It's just my faith. I'll accept that. I'll fucking accept that. But don't try to then take the science and come up with the answers that your whole faith base is that you don't have the answers. That's why it's called faith.
But again, I think that people who are creationists got so sick of looking like assholes in every debate with somebody who had science that they had to come in and shoehorn all this stuff in, and it's just nonsensical.
I cannot believe he would not accept the fact that Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon man bones were found in family settings with groups of people around tools, arrowheads, cutting tools, hides, just whatever was preserved with them, depending on where they were, the weather, mud, ice, whatever it is. They found these people.
He just has to believe that people are special. And that's what a lot of that is. It's this self-obsession with, you're not. You know what you are? You're a fucking lump of ooze that took billions of years to develop into mediocrity. Yeah. That's what you are. Sorry, pal. That's what you are.
Wow, did you just summarize that?
That is it.
All right.
Sorry about that, but you know what? The sun doesn't revolve around us. We revolve around it.
You're trying to say we're not that important, Jimmy?
We're fucking lumps of mediocrity. That really is it.
And that's why we distract ourselves at
sacks of goop
all the time.
And it doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. It really doesn't, to me, mean that. I just don't think our idiotic interpretation of what the Creator is correct.
Right, not yet anyway.
I'm not self-obsessed enough to think that when you look into it's space dust, which is they say, you know, to say 12 billion light years or 10 billion light years from here, that whoever made all of this said 24 hours, let me stick these things that are 5'8" that look just like me on this wonderful place. Well, you shut the fuck up. And we'll throw dinosaurs to run around with them and then die off and I'll flood. Shut up. No, you won't.
Yeah, the big flood. Why didn't they think the dinosaurs were worthy of the ark? Were they too big?
I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe that's why the flood was, to get rid of all those pests. Maybe dinosaur shit was too difficult to clean up out of the streets when they were going to visit the Lord's house.
And did one guy build a boat and put 2 animals of every kind on it?
He probably got 30 animals. He's probably some nut. I bet you Noah was a hoarder. I bet you half the animals were dead. I bet animal shit and all this weird stuff and little cat carcasses.
Hoarder.
All right, why don't we take a break? We got lots to do today.
Yeah, man.
No, he made us just look just like him.
That's a hell of a way to start
big
the
white
show.
beard. God's a big white guy with a big white beard.
Hey, they got museums and everything where you got fucking dinosaurs with saddles on them, and you know, because people rode dinosaurs.
Yeah, they rode dinosaurs. Could you imagine the American Museum of Natural History? You walk in, and that giant T-Rex that's in the lobby
has a saddle on it. The Creation Museum has just that.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk in. A dinosaur with a saddle on it to prove that, you know, man walked with dinosaurs.
I would love to believe that. I really would. I would love that guy, as much as I disliked him personally, to be right.
Does the Catholic Church believe in all that?
I don't know. The guys in the Vatican are way too smart to buy that nonsense.
Right.
They're smart dudes at that level. I don't know. You know, they may argue it, but they would. I don't think they would argue it as vehemently as him, because I think that they understand it's more like a business at this point.
All right.
I don't know how they would handle that.
I'm on ChristianAnswers.net.
Okay.
And they ask the question, did Noah take dinosaurs on the ark?
Yeah.
And it says that the Bible does not list the names of every creature on the ark.
Oh.
So dinosaurs must have been included.
Yeah, dinosaurs are there.
And it says right here, there's evidence. It says there's evidence that dinosaurs lived after the flood. For instance, Job saw Behemoth after the flood.
And what's that Genesis concert?
There's evidence right there.
Is that a Genesis concert?
No, that's from Genesis.
That's June 19th and 20th. Have you seen? Did you see him this summer?
Job saw the fuck Job.
It says Job saw Behemoth after the flood. Behemoth.
It's probably a chick he fucked. Some fatty.
I think I fucked her too.
Yeah, exactly. Believe me, she's Facebooked me many times.
The ark was a very large ship designed especially by God for its important purpose. It was so large and complex that it took Noah 120 years to build.
Of course it did.
Noah used this time to warn people about the flood and convince them to turn to God and be saved with his family.
Because as everybody knows, long ago, you lived longer.
Oh, yeah, 120 years was nothing, mere bag of shells.
Noah's teeth must have been a disaster. It's hard to keep your teeth in these times. I mean, his teeth must have been awful after 90 or 100 years.
He had bad breath?
Noah had horrible breath.
Unbelievable.
All right, why don't we break? We got lots to do today. A lot of guests coming in and blah, blah, blah. But first, this.
See, religious people are just fucking stupid. There's how the world was created, which everyone, scientists and rational thinking people believe, and that's the Big Bang Theory, and then evolution kicked in. There's little microorganisms made like a tadpole, and that tadpole learned how to walk or something, and then there was some animals in between, and then fucking monkeys, and then us. And that's science. Then there's how religious people believe it was created, and that's creationism. They believe that God put 2 white people in the jungle without sunscreen, and they fucked, and now we got people. And we got black people, Arab people, Oriental people, and for the amount of inbreeding, very few retards. It seems so plausible. See, the fact is that there's evolution in the Bible, right? Jesus was 4'7". 4'7". He was a normal-sized guy. Everyone was short back then. We're all taller now because of evolution. That's how Jesus could feed the people with 2 fish. Little fucking people, big fuck-off fish. So this is Jesus here, right? He's a little tiny Arab Jew. He looks like Super Mario. Now, if Jesus is this big, that means his cross was maybe that big. Now, I'm not saying I'm better than Jesus. But if I was on that little cross, my feet would be on the ground and I'd fucking live. So what killed Jesus cannot kill me. I am way more powerful. Not only would I live, but I would lift the cross out of the ground and beat up all the little Roman bastards. And history would be very different. Thousands of years before Jesus, there was a guy called Noah. And Noah built a boat. And Noah lived to be 950 years old. But they never mention that in sermons because we might think it's bullshit. And Noah was thousands of years before Jesus, so Noah's about this big. There's little Noah with his long hair and his great big beard. He looks like a glorified chess piece. And he built a boat, and they put all the animals on the boat, and we had 2 of each animal, and he lived in like Afghanistan back when it was a God-loving place. And all the animals came and they all swam there and shit. They all made it there in like a week, all the kangaroos and all that type of stuff. Then he worked out some type of refrigeration system to keep the polar bears cold and the lions hot. And he made the door on the ark very small so that the dinosaurs couldn't get in because he was a thinker. Then he had storage areas for all their delicate diets, because we all know what picky fucking eaters pandas are. Aren't pandas a bunch of cunts? I'm done with pandas, and I'll tell you why, right? Every fucking living creature loves pandas. The panda doesn't have a natural predator on the planet, and they're dying out because they're fucking dicks. Let them die out. The pandas don't fuck each other, therefore they don't have babies, therefore we've got no fucking pandas. They're dead weight. Let's lose the fucking pandas. We've tried. We have fucking tried. We, the human race, put pandas in cages together and try to help them fuck, but they don't. We go, there's a panda, go fuck the panda. And they just look at each other. You put me in a cage with anything. Anything. And after a week, I'll fuck it. Do you think pandas know they're Chinese and they're taking the one-child policy too serious?
Opie and Anthony, mornings. Ron and Fez, middays. On the Virus. Sirius XM.
Checking out Opie and Anthony. Busy show today. Bill Burr coming in at 8 o'clock. Ginger Lynn at 8 o'clock. Have we ever had Ginger Lynn on?
No, she's a legendary adult film actress, though. Good to have her.
And I know who's a fan of Ginger Lynn? Mick Foley, who will also be here today. And Chris Morris from that fine film, Four Lions, that some of us checked out last night. Good flick.
I have to plug something before I forget.
Sure.
My Raw Dog show today is on at 4 p.m. And we've been promoting it on Raw Dog. And I interview Baba Booey for his book.
What?
It was actually it was a good interview. We talked for like 45 minutes.
Was he cool?
Really cool guy. Yeah, it was a very easy interview. I figured he'd be probably good. He's been on radio a long time.
I checked out his Letterman appearance. He did a very good job on Letterman.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
He actually killed. He killed on Letterman.
So that's on today at 4 on Raw Dog. And
You're talking to Baba Booey. Wow.
Yeah, but it was.
We're not supposed to get along with that show at all.
It was very pleasant and very.
Did you have a fist fight afterwards?
Yeah, we duked it out.
Man.
And then I'll be in Poughkeepsie the 19th and 20th, I think, of this month. So come on out because I have some special gifts in way of jokes. That's what I call my jokes now. I call them special gifts.
Oh, speaking of jokes, you turned me on to the Joan Rivers movie. I saw it last night. What the fuck? You got to see this movie if you're into stand-up comedy.
Documentary.
It was downright depressing. 76 years old. Well, 75 when the documentary was made, and she's still trying to make it. She's trying to make it and talking about how she's rejected on a daily basis for projects and acting roles and this and that. And they show her like, doing a gig in Wisconsin and getting to the hotel at 3 a.m. and telling the person behind the desk, "Don't wake me until 6." 75-year-old woman getting 3 hours sleep after flying all night so she could do a gig and press for the gig.
Wow.
It was.
Fuck that.
It was. Wow. She seems like she's not a happy person.
No.
She seems like her life is missing something. There's a big hole in her heart.
Edgar, it's missing my Edgar.
I don't even know if it's Edgar because you learn that she met Edgar and married him 4 days later.
Yeah. Huh?
So what's that about? Why did she need a husband so bad?
I don't know.
That's and then Edgar, kills himself after the whole Fox thing went bad because he blamed himself. Because Fox wanted Joan Rivers to fire her own husband as the producer of the show. It's an unbelievable documentary,
and she really hates Carson too. Like Johnny was a weird, like a motherfucker, man.
Well, she was on the show for 20 years, and she finally had a chance to step out and do her own show. And Johnny thought, she
was competing with him.
Yeah, well, obviously, but and a loyalty thing that he believed in. So Joan Rivers calls Johnny Carson, tells him, she's leaving, and Carson hung up on her, and then she called back like, "What the fuck is that about?" And he hung up on her again and never talked to her again.
And she said she called after his son died. I think his son Chris. One of his sons died in a Jeep accident or something.
Yeah.
I think she called to offer condolences or something, and he never called her back. He was a tough guy, man. Like,
yeah,
what a prick. Yeah.
Did you see the wall of jokes she had? Like, she had a card catalog, almost like you're in a library.
Yeah.
And it's a whole wall of all the jokes she's written over the years. Every time she has a joke, she makes sure she gets it on a card and puts it away for safekeeping.
And that to me is a lifetime of doing that. Whereas now, on a computer. Because she said she has like people who put them on a computer for her.
Yeah.
But now on a computer you write your jokes and literally you go into your Finder in Mac and you click a keyword and you get all the jokes you've written about that subject.
I know she's
thumbing through cards.
She's so old school though.
I know she's a multimillionaire and all that, but I just felt sad for her by the end of the documentary. Just felt sad.
I felt sad for her self-perception. Like, not for her because she's still rich and she's still always going to sell tickets and she's a legend. I felt it almost is like she doesn't seem to understand who she is, like as far as how important she is in comedy. She's the fucking greatest, man. I don't know how anybody can not like Joan Rivers. I watched her do stand-up. It was an hour of the edgiest fucking material I have ever seen a comedian do. And that was about 3 years ago. My girlfriend and I at the time went to see her at the Cutting Room. It was 100 people. That's all she would do. It was a small room to work on her act. Fucking brutal.
Yeah, she kills.
Brutal material.
But as a person, man, wow. You really learn about her. Yeah, she was doing an anal sex joke in this documentary.
9/11 material.
You don't want to hear
brutal.
You don't want to hear a 75-year-old female comic doing an anal sex joke, but it worked. I was laughing my balls off.
Yeah, she's really funny.
But then you had a picture that she's taking it in the shitter. Oh my god. But
she's harsh.
I highly recommend it. It's on demand right now.
What's it called?
I don't even know. Shit, I should have wrote it down. I don't know.
And I'm annoyed that I don't remember it either.
And there's something else about the movie I wanted to say really fast, and I forgot. Well,
let me see. I'll just Google it.
Google it. Google it.
I like documentaries.
You should check this one out. It's really good, man.
I can't believe I don't know what it's called. I'm looking at it. I mean, I should Google documentary.
I'm looking at it.
Let's see. Carbon dating is fake. All right, good point. Asshole. Is it called A Comic's Life?
Whatever. They'll find it.
piece of work.
A piece of work, right?
Danny had it up in 2 seconds.
Well, Danny's just better than everybody.
2 seconds.
Isn't Danny just hot tamales?
She says she hates looking at herself without the makeup on. So basically, when she wakes up in the morning, that's the first thing she does. She immediately puts her makeup on, whether she does it herself or has someone in the house doing it for her. The documentary starts with her just without makeup on. Did you? I
don't remember that part.
You don't remember?
No.
That's how it just opens.
Like?
It didn't.
Pretty bad.
It wasn't pretty, man.
Pretty gruesome.
It wasn't pretty.
But she's so funny. I don't care what she looks like. Like, I wouldn't care if she never had work done and just looked like she was almost 80. It's like, who gives a fuck? You're Joan Rivers. Who cares what you look like?
You know what she hates? When female comics come up to her and say, "You opened the doors for us." And she's like, "Fuck you, bitch. I'm still opening doors." But the people look at her as like, "You opened."
Yeah.
And she takes that personally.
As like it's a final statement.
Yeah, exactly. And she feels like she's still doing it.
Open the door makes you feel like, hey, look, you're in the past, and this is what you did, and we've taken over. But it's like, open the doors. You're still performing, but you happen to be doing it before any of us were, and she did.
Right. She really should do our show.
She's a little sensitive.
She should do our show. Especially after we've seen this documentary. My God, they humanized Joan Rivers.
She's the greatest, man. I would love to fucking talk to her for a long period of time.
And this guy says, JD, he writes, Joan Rivers lives in a haunted apartment in New York City. Have Danny look up celebrity ghost stories. It's pretty fucked up.
Oh, really?
That show looks like bullshit.
Celebrity
ghost stories.
Oh, really? That's a
Come
show?
on, Aunt, be fun.
Yeah.
You believe in the ghosts?
No.
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
I certainly do, Gregory.
Yes.
They're frightening.
What are frightening?
Ghosts. I don't like spooks.
Yes, they can be very scary.
I hate when spooks are in my house. They're frightening.
Very scary.
Yes,
indeed.
they are, Anthony. They make all kinds of weird noises. I don't understand their terminology.
You want the story of the day already? Do you want the story of the day?
I'm trying to think if I know it.
Let's get it out of the way because we got a lot of people coming in today. Yeah, this is an amazing story. Cardi, is that your name? He's calling from Australia.
Cody, C-O-D-Y.
Okay, what do you got, brother? Listen to this one.
Cody, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Hey, no.
No.
If you think Brett Favre's pretty bad, one of our top footballers over here, we have this thing called Mad Monday.
Over here?
And it's pretty much
Mad Monday?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, can I go down?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, sorry. Like how you
It's pretty much when a football team over here underperforms, the club lets them just go wild for one day, and it usually ends up in, I don't know, like a gang rape or a taxi being stolen and burnt. But one player today took the cake, and if I'm sure you've got the image there in front of you, he's literally letting a dog blow him.
Blow him?
There it is.
Check out.
This is your story of the day, and I guess.
Oh my God!
I guess he's a big-time football star in Australia, right?
How fucking great is that?
That is
one of our all-stars.
Is he?
He's one of the all-stars. So picture A-Rod.
Yeah,
picture, I don't know, I guess Brett Favre doing that. Instead of just...
It's like Brett Favre feeding his minuscule penis into a dog's mouth.
Is the dog sucking it or licking it? Is he just being a goof?
He's getting head
everyone
from a dog.
Straight every now and then, but...
hey, someone tweet me that picture. I'll retweet that one.
Getting blown.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sure Twitter won't have a problem with that. A guy getting blown by a dog.
Yeah, right.
It depends on what fucking
bestiality
picture site you use.
I manage a bar, and people were like going, "That's really disgraceful." And I go, "I know, the dog doesn't even have oven mitts on."
Yeah, no safety.
Wow, that's great.
I think we got lost in translation there, though. I don't understand why this is going down. It sounds like this type of thing happens every year. Some crazy thing.
Yeah, as I said, like never this crazy, but like it's our football. Like we give our sporting stars a lot of leeway. And this is kind of where we draw the line.
Hey, is he? Do you think his career's over?
Oh, absolutely. There's another link here where it's pretty much like he's in counselling. His managers won't answer any phone calls.
Yeah, why counselling?
Was he trying to be funny, or was he really getting off, or was he just doing it to be a goof?
It's no worse than what Michael Vick was doing.
I know. At least this guy's fucking.
I don't know,
At least the dog's
maybe he
getting
got
a
bit
treat.
by a
Give him a
snake or a
tasty
spider.
treat.
Right. And gets to live
maybe he
at
got
the end of it.
Maybe he got bit by a snake or a spider, and the dog's just getting the poison out. You know?
Yeah.
That too could happen there.
Or maybe somebody dropped their peanut butter sandwich in his lap, and the dog was helping clean the mess.
The guy doesn't need counseling, though.
I don't know. I may disagree with you on that one. He's
Why?
a dog licking his cock and balls.
Yeah, he really, and he's holding the dog's like collar.
He's doing it for the fucking goof.
Is he?
I saw footage, by the way, yesterday of 2 pit bulls eating a guy who was alive. I'm wondering, somebody's filming it, and I'm wondering if it was a drug punishment.
Has to be. Why wouldn't the cameraman help?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the cameraman was just filming it, and there's 2 pits around the guy. I'm like, that has to be
Wow,
a drug
brutal.
punishment. Yeah,
it has to be.
It has to be.
Can I read you? Can I read you the statement from his manager and himself?
Absolutely.
Oh, what did his
Absolutely.
manager say?
Sure.
Okay, cool. This is from our Daily Press, and he goes, sorry, just 1 second. Okay, cool. Joel wants to make it clear that he was the one playing a prank on an absent teammate by simulating the act. There are no words of explanation that can be offered because none can be appropriate. Joel now has to face his family as well as his fans and supporters with the shame that he's already undergone counselling to help him cope with the consequences of his misguided actions. It was a moment of abject stupidity brought about by too much drink and a complete lack of thought process. The fact that someone has thought to compound the situation further by the use of social media only adds to the trauma.
Who tweeted it?
That his act. Sorry?
Who
took the picture?
Yeah, who tweeted it?
Well, as I said, like, we have this thing in Australia where when a team kind of bows out, they get the Mad Monday. So it was one of his teammates.
From at Rover.
Yeah, the dog did it.
Yeah, the dog tweeted it.
What's his name, buddy? Joel what?
Joel Monahan.
Monahan, there it is on the screen, Jimmy.
Mr. Monahan. Blowing a dog, Mr. Monahan.
He apologizes unreservedly for the outrage that people feel at the moment and blames nobody but himself. He will meet the club over the issue and accepts that he must accept the ramifications. Basically, his career is over.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get outrageous in front of his teammates, and if you snap a picture like that, of course you got to tweet it. Of course you have to.
That's a fucking getting caught with a dog blowing you is a really rough one.
That's bad.
That's a rough one. Like I'm all like, this is the case where you probably should be apologizing and explaining. When there's a photo of a dog sucking your dick, you owe people an explanation.
Yes. What were you thinking?
This is not a. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Australia's a fairly small country.
Yeah.
And, like, pretty much wherever you go, coast to coast, people are going to know who you are.
Yeah.
And, like, his family are never going to know my son, the famous football player, knows my son, the guy that got blown by a dog.
Well,
within the next few days, how excited are you for rapper Lil Wayne to get out of jail this week?
I tell you what I think about that. I know this is kind of a funny question for you to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, my daughter introduced me to rap and hip-hop music after I said some things she thought were not very smart. She said, Dad, you need to listen. A lot of these people are smart. This guy's smart, and he's got ability, and he's got a new chance now. And what I hope is that it's not just something to brand him as a cool guy, but that it'll never happen again to him.
Are they fucking around?
Of course they are. And I'm ashamed that I actually said we should have tried to get him. I'm ashamed.
Come on.
Of course they're fucking around. The thing is,
wait, but did they actually talk to Clinton?
No, they
I don't
didn't.
I don't.
George Clinton, maybe.
I don't think that's Clinton.
Oh, you don't even think that's Clinton?
No. Oh, I do.
No, that's Clinton.
I think that's Clinton because he didn't say any names. I think I really do think that was Clinton.
So you think they just edited it in?
Did someone get scammed?
We
kind of got scammed.
Travis is just like shaking his head.
What, Travis?
What's up, Travis?
I would maybe agree with you guys if it wasn't being reported by like everyone.
Oh, because the fucking papers and news never fall for radio gags.
Who's reporting it?
I saw it yesterday. I saw it on Yahoo. I saw it on the Daily News. I saw it on the Post.
So what?
So I would tend to believe that it actually was Bill Clinton calling into the radio show instead of them just doing.
I
a
believe
hacky
that
Bill
was Clinton.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just wondering if they were talking about somebody else.
It's in the news because he was talking about Lil Wayne and the McRib and whatever.
At this point, it's like almost 2,000 sources.
That he was actually answering a question about Lil Wayne. I'm confused.
I
now.
don't. I'm calling. Again. Maybe. But it's just, it was so weird. Can we hear the next question? Maybe. Again,
No, that's all we got.
have
That's
time.
why it's suspicious. Why is?
Wait, why is there only one question?
Yeah, why is that all we got on that?
Well, you would have to ask Sam. He's the one who pulled
Well, let's get Sam in here immediately. Maybe there's more.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
We're
We're usually really good at this. I'm kind of confused. I believe they talked to Clinton, but I feel like they then maybe went into a production studio and changed it up so it makes it sound like he was talking about Lil Wayne instead of maybe a more conservative rapper.
I think it's probably real, but that's just all they posted.
Why wouldn't they post more of the interview?
Because they just wanted a quick little buzz clip. I'm sure the interview was mainly mundane and, promoting whatever Bill Clinton wanted to promote with the elections.
What's that? Can we hear that again? Because here's what was so weird.
The ending was weird.
He doesn't once say Lil Wayne.
Right.
It sounds like he was talking about something and they shoehorned a question around it.
Yeah,
maybe.
You want the whole thing?
Yes, please.
President Clinton on the phone with the Kiss Morning Freak Show.
And that sounds like it was done in a production studio because that's not how you would talk to the president.
these are the guys that open.
Yeah, those guys are great. We like those guys.
I mean, they probably did hype up the phone call, the way they put in the Vox Pro or whatever, the way they hype up every phone call.
But there's something about the phrasing Clinton used
I'm very suspicious.
that bothered me. It was that, it's funny that you asked that. It's almost like the way I shoehorn questions to the Alan Alda interview.
Yeah. Are they in commercials? Could they call our show? They got the number. What the hell?
Maybe it's real, but
President Clinton on the phone with the Kiss Morning Freak Show. Mikey and Big Bob.
Hello.
Now, I also got to.
That sounded like an edit there.
Come on, man. If you listen to it, he says, "Now I also got to ask you," which means they cut out the first part of the interview to make the YouTube clip.
Okay, all right, good point by Sam. All right.
All right.
Is it possible to have a conservative rapper?
Well,
yeah, I'm sure.
Like Will Smith.
Thank you.
Family friendly.
Thank
sure.
you, asshole.
Will Smith.
Of course, it's possible.
Yeah, that's
nice.
what's up.
Remix.
Listen to the whatever, and then you could hear kind of an edit in there.
President Clinton on the phone with the Kiss Morning Freak Show. Mikey and Big Bob.
Hello.
Now, I also got to ask you, because this is kind of happening soon, within the next few days. How excited are you for rapper Lil Wayne to get out of jail this week?
I tell you what I think about that. I know this is kind of a funny question for you to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, my daughter introduced me to rap and hip-hop music after I said some things she thought were not very smart. She said, Dad, you need to listen. A lot of these people are smart. This guy's smart, and he's got ability, and he's got a new chance now. And what I hope is that it's not just something to brand him as a cool guy, but that it'll never happen again to him.
I'm going to go fake.
I don't think it's fake because if it
I'm
were
going fake.
If it were fake, they would make it funnier. Like it's not.
How? You could only work around the clip you got.
Yeah, I think they have a clip.
They got a clip.
Because the clip, I mean, it goes on a little bit longer. I cut it down slightly for this show.
Well, can we hear the rest of the clip?
I want to hear the whole thing because
if you go to their website, it's on there. Just look up Bill Clinton, Lil Wayne.
Oh, you decided to cut it down.
Yeah. Well, I want to make it. Yes, I edit. Yes, for this show. Yeah.
Wouldn't you think we would want the whole clip?
He's the president. Have some respect, commie.
Well,
fucking pinko
Did it go
queer.
on for 10 minutes?
No, I just went on. That's
How much did you cut out?
Only like 30 seconds.
What's the?
What are we doing?
Leave it.
What are we doing? This is Stretch City. This show.
I didn't. I was trying to make it more radio friendly. I guess I should have.
Yes, you should have.
Exactly. Let's hear the original.
And there's a if you go to their YouTube channel, there's a Jersey Shore question too to Bill Clinton.
I don't know.
Let's hear the Jersey Shore question.
Yeah,
and then make out as men.
We might not have time.
If this was fake, though, wouldn't you think that since it's everywhere, I mean, MTV, USA Today, the AP, wouldn't you think that Clinton's people would...
When did it break?
yesterday morning.
All right,
like-
so we got some
like
time.
around noon.
We got some time for it to.
You think they're
Okay.
just?
We'll hear
Yeah.
this.
That's totally real.
Maybe it is.
I think so.
All right, go ahead.
President Clinton on the phone with the Kiss Morning Freak Show. Mikey and Big Bob.
Hello.
Now, I also got to ask you, because this is kind of happening
there was edits.
Soon, within the next few days. How excited are you for rapper Lil Wayne to get out of jail this week?
I tell you what I think about that. I know this is kind of a funny question for you to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, my daughter introduced me to rap and hip-hop music after I said some things she thought were not very smart. She said, Dad, you need to listen. A lot of these people are smart. This guy's smart, and he's got ability, and he's got a new chance now. And what I hope is that it's not just something to brand him as a cool guy, but that it'll never happen again to him. I think a lot of these people, they don't get successful in that, just like any other area of life, by being really dumb. They're really smart, but a lot of them have had tough lives, and they almost think it's cool to get in trouble every now and then, or they don't know how to stay out. What I hope will happen is that he has a good life now.
We get the McRib sandwich and Lil Wayne all in 1 week, and the elections.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good for people that like both.
Maybe.
I mean, it was edited the way every phone call is edited.
I'll tell you why.
I'll
tell you why they put the Bob and whatever they said, because they knew it was going to get out there. That was put in there just to brand the show, I think.
Right, just so there's an intro to it.
I think that was the intro, just to get, which was smart of them guys. Maybe it is real, because
Kinda suspicious.
It is suspicious because Clinton doesn't say Lil Wayne.
No,
he doesn't say Lil
But he
Wayne.
doesn't have to. The other guy said
Yeah,
Lil
you're right.
Wayne, so.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's obviously edited
Lil Wayne.
the way everything's edited.
Why would
on
the guy
radio,
say we
but-
get the McRib sandwich? I guess just
That's the big pop culture story. The McRib is back. Lil Wayne's getting out of jail.
Yeah, maybe.
And Clinton was always, always liked going to McDonald's.
He loved
That was
it.
like his big
Did he?
thing. Yeah. Bubba.
Till his
maybe true
heart issues.
You think women will still fuck him?
Who, Bubba?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that
They
guy.
all want to fuck him.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah, he's into black chicks.
It's amazing.
What?
Very few people could
I
steal
think
pussy
Clinton
from Tom Cruise. I think Clinton could probably pull pussy off of Tom Cruise's lap.
He's a good talker. He could probably fuck Stevie's mom.
thing
Can we get the guys on the phone?
Yeah.
The freak show?
Yeah, let's try to get the
To
freak
fuck
show.
Stevie's mom, all you gotta be able to do is burp.
Huh? Yeah, we're trying. All right, that's fine. I'm a little suspicious.
I was, and then hearing the rest of the clip,
You're not as suspicious?
Not as suspicious.
Possible. Why
Sure.
wouldn't
Yeah, I
it
think
be?
it's for
Where are
real.
they? Where are they based?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I could
Clinton's
stand
calling
it.
a radio station in Pittsburgh.
It's weird that he's calling him, but he did.
Maybe
I mean,
who was he stumping for? Obviously, there might have been a tight election in Pittsburgh
That's what you have to look at. Was
He's-
there a really close election in Pittsburgh?
for the governor, or
Right.
yeah. I mean, Barack Obama called the Steve Harvey show and the Ryan Seacrest show and all those radio shows. They're bigger than Stupid Freak Show in Pittsburgh.
And very safe shows, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Extremely safe show.
And it worked so well.
No, it didn't.
I mean,
He got shellacked, as he said.
Clinton's people are going to go, hey, Bill, you're going to call a radio show called The Freak Show?
Well, I mean, it is a pretty safe show.
I got to go on record. I'm suspicious.
What
do you think, Ann?
I'm buying it.
You're buying it?
Yeah, I'm buying it.
All
I
right.
think so.
You're fucking Gary Gullible, Ant.
Yeah, that's what they call me.
It would have been wackier if it was fake.
Not necessarily. You don't want to go too crazy.
They do.
President Clinton.
Yeah, exactly.
Rocco cuts.
I just don't know.
How do you feel about the banning of the toys from the Happy Meals?
Mixed reviews.
I am so happy about that.
Why?
Very
Do
glad.
you think the government should really be involved with that shit?
Yes.
Really?
Anything to annoy the little children of the world.
Here's the story really fast. Bill, come on in. You don't have to sit out there. Bill Burr's just sitting outside there.
Bill.
He's been sitting there for like 10 fucking minutes.
I was sitting outside.
How do you do? I walk in, you yell at me.
Just sitting out there. I was waiting for people to ask me to come in. I was sitting outside.
Doug, you're talking.
I was asking.
There's
I was asking.
what the fuck? I was asking.
Roland?
I was asking about the history behind that Bobby Kelly picture where he's got the banana peel on his head.
Oh, he was being wacky.
Yeah,
He was
that
being
was
kooky.
wacky. That was
Being
wacky,
nutty.
Bobby.
What's up, Jimmy?
Hi, Bill.
How are you, sir?
How you been, Bill Burr?
Fantastic.
Yeah, good.
Fantastic.
What's up,
Can't
Bill?
complain.
Always a pleasure to have
What's up,
Bill
Opie?
Burr back.
How are you? Very
Good.
official?
Good,
Very
good,
official?
good.
Do you have things we need to discuss?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
What are you in town for, though?
I did...
The comedy festival?
Yeah, I did a thing last night for the troops. It was an insane thing over at the
Al-Qaeda?
Beacon Theater. Oh, yeah. Just to try to balance it
Those
out so we
troops.
can
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
making money in this country. It was, just a thing for the troops, supporting the troops, one of those shows. And I had a bunch
good.
of big names on there.
Yeah.
And then myself quivering in the wings.
You do well, I'm sure.
Yeah, fortunately I did. I definitely had the freak out of, like, nobody said fuck yet.
Who was on the show?
I'm going to be
Oh,
that
really?
guy.
You're
All
gonna
right,
be
this
the
is
guy.
the show. Jon Stewart hosted. Tony Bennett
Jesus.
came out and sang.
What the fuck?
Bruce Springsteen.
Jesus.
Wow.
Then you got to talk to Joel McHale. Had to follow Springsteen and an auction. That's the biggest take on the beach I've ever seen and stand up like
Wow.
he was hilarious. He was just standing there, just like, really, really, and but he killed. And then I got to ride his wave, and then Seinfeld closed it out.
Holy
What
shit.
the fuck, Bill?
Yeah. That was
Wow,
definitely one of
that's a
those
hell of a
things
show.
when I was looking at it like, what the hell am I doing here? I should
How much
be
time?
8 minutes.
Right. 8 quick minutes.
8 quick minutes, and they, yeah. The
Nice.
second you see that flashing light, you're like,
Get the
don't-
fuck
yeah,
off.
don't want to piss people off.
Seinfeld's coming on. Get
Yeah.
off.
Hey,
that was definitely pretty cool.
You get
to-
photos?
Wow, yeah, that's...
No, I didn't.
No?
Yeah, and I was actually talking to DeRosa about that, how I respect your unabashed, just like you, like everybody's got to
he
act
won't
like
care, yeah.
they don't want a picture with Tony Bennett.
Well, Bruce, I got one. Springsteen.
Hold
on,
I got him too.
I'm an
that's
idiot.
right.
I'm an idiot.
Hold that thought, all right, really fast. But we got the freak show on the
Okay.
line here. We're discussing something. We want to get to the bottom of
Okay.
this. Bob and Mikey, what's up, brothers?
Hi, guys.
Guys?
We're suspicious about the Clinton thing. You going to come clean with us?
No, completely real.
Completely real. So he's talking about Lil Wayne.
I'm buying it, dude. Opie's suspicious.
I was a
and
little
Jimmy is.
suspicious. That's why we
I
have you on the
was,
line.
but then hearing the rest of the clip, I was like, yeah, it's probably real.
Yeah.
We're the farthest thing from like a political talk show or even talking politics.
Right.
Yeah.
But our ratings are pretty good, so they want to jam these people onto our show, right?
Was there a big
To the young people.
Was there a big race in Pittsburgh that Clinton had to get involved with?
It was the governor race in
Okay.
Pennsylvania, so they wanted to, like, I don't know, come on and talk about their candidate or whatever like that. But, you know, we wanted to talk about, you know, just other crap because we know nothing about politics. And they emailed us at like 9 o'clock the night before, just like, oh, hey, Bill Clinton on the phone with you guys tomorrow morning. We're like, sure.
Wow, were you shitting a brick?
That's a good one.
I don't know if we had Obama on before, and he was such a robot. Like, it was just awful.
Wait, you guys talked to Obama too?
We wanted to try to avoid all that. So we just threw Clinton like questions, you know, out of nowhere.
Who books your show? Can we have them?
They contact us, which is the weird thing because I mean, we don't even have a producer on our show, so we don't even know.
What the fuck?
Neither do we. Kidding, of course.
I don't know. They just contact us, and we're just like, yeah, sure,
Holy
whatever. And then we
shit.
just get on and ask them normal things, and they like freak out.
Right.
Were they freaking out a little bit about Lil Wayne and McRib?
I definitely don't think they thought it was going to blow up as big as it did and stuff like that. But they didn't email us back and say, you know, anything like that. They were fine with it, I guess. Yeah, Clinton was a trooper, though. He just rolled with it. I mean,
Oh, he don't care at this point.
you know, more people were talking about Bill Clinton and Lil Wayne than they were talking about the Democrats just getting, you know, their butts handed to them and stuff.
Yeah. Bill Clinton, at this point, doesn't care anyway. If you look at what he's doing and stuff, he's just enjoying himself
How
now.
long did you have him for?
We had him on for probably about 10 minutes, I would say.
It's pretty cool, man.
Damn, that is
Hey,
pretty good.
congratulations to you guys. It's
That's a good
everywhere.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you, boys.
Damn.
You guys okay? You guys having fun?
Yeah. Yeah, we got Bill Burr in today.
Yeah, Bill Burr.
You had Bill Clinton, we have Bill Burr. They love you, Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Have you ever been on the Freak Show in Pittsburgh?
I imagine. I have no idea. I've been on like a zillion shows at this point. I'm like this.
Bob and Mikey, have you had
wind
Bill
up
Burr
monkey.
on?
Absolutely not. No, we've never had Bill Burr on. Never been offered. He's way too fancy for us.
You don't want to bump Bill Clinton to get Bill Burr. Well, while you were talking to Bill Burr, we were talking to Bobby Lee from, he was on Mad TV years ago.
Did you ask him how he feels about Lil Wayne getting out this week?
No, he couldn't. He had his clothes off and he was humping one of the interns.
Yeah,
but
it was really awkward for
everybody.
everybody.
As you're talking to Bill Clinton.
Wayne question at that point.
Yeah, see, we don't know. We don't know what to do.
Well, you guys, I've never done your show.
Yeah.
You guys are on what station?
96.1 Kiss in Pittsburgh.
Okay, I've been there many times. I haven't done you guys, but I would like to do when I come in.
Next time you're in town, little Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely.
Find us, because I've been to your shows before, Jim.
Okay, thank you, man.
Wow, these guys get to talk to politicians.
Unless Ahmadinejad is coming on their show.
You might get bumped for him, Jim.
Well, maybe you got to talk to the president of, like, Switzerland or something.
Right, Chip.
Everyone gets bumped for you, though, little Jimmy, so don't worry.
All right.
Thanks, bud. Congratulations, guys. It's great.
Yeah,
get back to your show. Congratulations, man.
Take it easy. Bye, gentlemen.
Bye. All right, the Freak Show from Pittsburgh. They talked to Clinton about the McRib
Yes, they
and Lil Wayne.
That's a pretty good get.
That is.
Yeah, what is
They don't even have a producer, and they're getting fucking Clinton on their show.
Do you want to be Bill Clinton? Ooh, whoopee, ooh.
Hello. Hello.
Roland.
Bill Clinton. Oh, yeah, he was there last night.
Of course it was. Wherever
Did he meet
Springsteen goes,
Springsteen?
Roland goes.
He actually somehow got into Max Weinberg's circle.
Oh, shit.
As they were all standing, because he was just sort of standing against the wall.
Was he creaming? Because he is a huge
Well,
fan.
Max, I guess, was going around the circle going, you go, ba-da-ba, and you come in, hey, he's doing a whole thing. He just kind of comes to Roland. Roland's just like, Bruce. and Max just rolled his eyes like, who is this idiot? And then just continued on. Dude,
Let's get him in here.
Roland was hilarious. He was sitting there, and he had on his some sort of limited edition Bruce Springsteen direct from the website, like $80 T-shirt or something.
Of course.
And yeah, he got a hug from Bruce, and I think he almost fainted.
Wow.
A hug from Bruce?
A big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, Bruce was funny. He came up and he went, oh, he goes, merchandise. And he hugged him.
Merchandise.
I really believe Roland is the biggest Bruce Springsteen fan in the world.
He was walking by. He goes, this is how much of a nerd I am. He's like, that's Bruce's guitar tech. And he knew the guy's name.
Oh, my God.
He's into
Look at him.
the
Here he is.
Roland. And of course, he's wearing a Springsteen shirt today as well.
So, Roland, let me ask you, have you gotten a photo with Bruce?
No, I haven't.
You never gotten one?
No.
You should have asked me, dude. I would have done that.
Why didn't you last night? Was like the perfect opportunity.
But the thing is, so I won't look like is when you have people around, like they had a lot of powerful agents, managers.
Okay, yeah.
You can't do it because one woman took a picture and everybody's like, "Who's her?"
And they were all like, "Why does she have the balls to do what we'd all love to do?"
Yeah,
or like
that's exactly it.
Wow.
I got Bruce in an elevator, so it's different.
But he gave me a hug, so
Yeah, Bill was telling us.
Gave you a hug.
It was different. He couldn't run away.
Dude, it was fucking me and Kenny were walking out for a gig in Minnesota, and Springsteen's band was in the hotel we were in, and literally there was a fucking truck, an SUV in front of the car, and the security guy, when we walked out, goes, "Hello, little Jimmy," like he was an O&A fan.
Oh, shit.
And I think he was trying to, in a way, tell me to stay. But me and Kenny walked out of the street, and then Kenny goes, "I think Bruce is in that truck." So we fucking saw Bruce get out of the truck and sign one thing. Me and Kenny bolted back into the hotel, and as the elevator's closing, we jump on. It's just the guy and Bruce and me and Kenny. And we were like, we just rode up in the elevator with him, and I'm like, "Do you mind if I get a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And we had workout clothes on. And then we realized he got off to the top floor, and he's like, "What floor are you guys?" We're like, "Oh, we just."
You have to go back down.
I went back down.
Because this is my whole floor.
Right.
I'm sure you're not on this one.
higher than this.
But that's one of those places where it's like you can afford to do it because it's like, who cares? You're in an elevator.
No, but like, even you see Jon Stewart, Seinfeld, and Brian Williams all talking. Bruce walks in, they all freeze too. They're all like.
But those guys could ask for like on that level you can ask and it's fine.
None of them did though.
They might already have them.
Yeah, but they're all just talking, hanging out, and everybody's like staring at Bruce.
Everybody's trying to be too cool for the room. It's like it's Springsteen. Walk up and say hello. He knows who Jon Stewart is. He knows who Seinfeld is.
He says hello, and everybody just like keeps on staring at him. Hello.
Wow.
So how did you get the
but you don't want to be that
backstage
guy
action?
who just like, I mean,
Because
that's
I'm
his whole life is trying to get from point A to point B, taking as few pictures as possible.
Yeah,
I just look at it. He's backstage. This is the one place where he can chill, and I'm going to be like, "Can you sign my shoulder?"
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
So I don't want to be that guy. Like I don't know. I want to do it, but I don't have the ability to finesse it. I would just, I know I would just annoy him if I did.
Jimmy gumption.
But I'm not. But again,
Jim's got gumption.
I'm not. I do it at the right time too. I don't get them as he's walking on stage. I'll get it like
Really?
I'll catch a moment right by the dressing room or something where you know that there's.
He's trying to collect his thoughts about what he's
Exactly.
going to do.
What's he gonna do? He's doing 8 minutes. Sing "Born in the USA" and fucking get back off. We're tired of you.
No,
Sorry.
it's just like a woman was talking about her tragedy and everything. I was standing next to Joel, and then Bruce was right in front of us. I was like,
Did you say he said he hugged you though?
yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah. Oh, beyond. That's why I love Joel.
Did you make cumsies?
I did make lots of them.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
I bet.
I just froze.
Yeah, Roland fucking loves Springsteen.
I did. So when like
Were you all sweaty?
Like, when
Did
the
he
woman
hug
was
you and
talking,
you were all sweaty?
no, I smell very good though.
Like vanilla?
I had my special soap on.
This is real. I'm telling you, he's not even fucking
No, but
doing it for the radio show.
when he was standing, like when the woman was doing a speech, like Joel's next to him, and there's Bruce. I'm like, I could touch him. and then like Joel kind of reached, like brushed Patty and Bruce, and then they kind of like looked around, and I just like smiled, kind of with Bruce shirt on, and then they just turned right back around. I'm like.
Oh, that's so odd. You're like the
rejection.
guy. You're like the guy at appearances that we see with the O&A shirts on, and you're just kind of like, oh God, don't come up to
Those
me.
AM radio headphones.
Don't start talking to me.
Yeah, but I refrained from pictures and everything. Though it killed me. Though.
Would you get him if he was in here? Would you get a photo?
I would if management lets me. I would be more than happy.
We
to.
gotta get him a photo with Springsteen.
I tell you,
He is coming up here on the 15th.
Is he?
Yeah, for 2
Not
hours.
on our show though, right?
No, he's doing the fishbowl, like a special for the Bruce channel.
So can we get you a
Bruce Channel.
picture? Can we make that happen? Because Roland's not going to ask because
What
he works here.
What time is he coming?
I have no idea. They're just I listen to the Bruce channel all day, so I just heard the
Of course.
contest.
The 15th.
What is the fucking obsession?
It's
I
Monday
know.
the
I just
15th.
love
Yeah,
Bruce's
no, I
music.
like bands too. There's certain bands I like, yeah, but it's like never that obsessive.
Right.
Well, yeah, Jimmy. Black
I get
Sabbath.
it. He just loves him.
Ozzy.
I do. So like right after your show ends, and I go, Nick's running, and I go Bruce, and I hear dun, 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 dun. Play all day long.
What'd you hear?
Na 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 na. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's unbelievable. How many times have you seen Springsteen?
Well, last night that'll be my 253rd time.
Is there anyone that has seen Springsteen more
There's
than
no-
that?
Max Weinberg hasn't seen him that many times.
Who's a bigger Springsteen fan than you? Because you know that whole culture.
There was an old guy that's in front of me in the show. He saw like 800 shows, but he was divorced 3 times, so that's my future.
Divorced?
Probably.
That's your future.
Well, once they
Bruce.
allow marriage, like.
Yeah.
Dude, that's over 2 years.
Yeah.
Of your life just seeing Bruce Springsteen concerts.
Wow, you're
What are
right.
you doing?
Wow.
I can't wait till he goes back on the road, though.
So, dude, were you gonna be here when he comes up and watch him?
I don't know if I'm
Get it,
allowed to
really?
because it's only like 20 people. They're having a contest.
Why can't they put you in the fishbowl? What's wrong with this fucking place?
Maybe they will though. Maybe
They never do the right
I
thing.
haven't asked though. That's why I haven't.
Why don't we do this? Because Roland does it. Roland's very professional. We'll ask for Roland.
Yeah, of course.
Who we should contact Bruce's management and ask if they can. Look,
Would
I
it
know there's a
hurt
lot
if
of
he's in the
fans.
fishbowl, making it 21 instead of 20 people.
Or would they at least arrange for a quick? We'll find out. Maybe they will. They've been good with stuff
God
like that.
bless you, Jimmy. God
Why not?
bless you. I say why not?
Maybe
too.
they make the special exception.
We'll see.
And sign my photo.
They're weird about all that stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, but it was a fun event though.
Bill Burr do well?
He killed.
Of course
Bruce,
he did.
Bruce loved him too. He said.
Really?
Oh yeah, who
Bruce
said?
saw you. Yeah, who said Bill? We listened.
Who said that
Yeah,
Bruce
from-
loved Bill?
Everybody loves. I mean, he killed.
No, you can't lump Bill and Bruce.
No,
with
somebody
everybody.
came up and said that he was down in the green room laughing, which
Oh, that's
gave me
great.
a thrill. Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely gave me a thrill.
What are they going to say? The negative guy, negative friend who ruins everything.
He's probably just being nice.
Yeah, come on, Bill. The volume wasn't even on. He was rehearsing. That's great. He'll remember you now, though.
He laughed at everybody.
But dude, he'll fucking. You have something to talk to him now, because I guarantee you, if you'd see him, he'd remember you. But if not, you just go, "We were on that benefit." He'd go, "Yeah, I loved you."
Tony Benn was awesome.
I got
He
a
just-
feeling his life's big enough that he's probably already forgotten
about things.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was obsessed with you and was Googling you and was just ordering all your shit?
Oh yeah, and then he listened to this show and heard some of our impressions of him.
Yeah,
That's the
perhaps.
funniest thing about being on this show. The amount of times I've run into somebody that I actually realize that I kind of like, but then I just think to an episode of this, I'm like, oh god, I hope he's not a fan of the show.
I certainly fucked that up. Yeah.
I can't even like.
It really makes it
The
hard to.
combination of stuff I've done in specials,
Yeah.
and then being on this show, I swear to God, it's at like 12% of the people I meet. I'm
Bridge
like,
burner.
This show
Yeah.
makes it really hard to run in those circles.
Yeah.
Really hard.
You don't know what you've said and who's gotten back
yeah.
to.
I was in I was in the Brooklyn Diner one time, and there was something going on where Tyra Banks forgot to tip. She thought her people did, so she came running in to do it. It was this big sort of media thing. And the person I was with was funny. They go, "Oh, hey, dude, are you a big fan of Beyonce?" And he turned around, pointed, and I go, "That's Tyra Banks." And then immediately I'm looking at him like, wow, she's beautiful. And then immediately I just thought of, oh, God, fatty, fat,
shit.
cow, whatever the hell.
Fatty pig, fatty.
Yeah.
Actual like, huge banner outside. You want to move him to the table? We can squeeze in.
Drop a couple of these.
Let's squeeze him in.
Get a goddamn
he
chair.
wants to trade, I'll sit over there. Provided nothing horrific has happened there in the last 10 days.
Do you guys know that Ginger and I are tight?
Really?
Well, then why doesn't she sit on your lap?
I can do that. Are you okay with that?
I am.
All right, then why don't you get out?
Why wouldn't he be? Who wouldn't be?
Come on, Mick.
I'm not wearing diapers like the last time I saw you.
Wow.
Why are you wearing diapers?
We've got history.
Fetish or surgery?
I completely forgot about the Fed.
I'll come over and sit on your lap and tell.
Wow, come on over
That's
here.
a hell of a career.
Oh, there we
Diapers,
go.
right?
Just,
all right, there's
look at that.
Hey, Mick.
Hi, Ginger.
How do you guys know each other?
Mick came into my show that I was doing on Playboy on Sirius when I was doing it with Christy Canyon.
Yes.
And we actually ended up, I thought it would be cute to wrestle with Mick. So,
you wrestled a little bit.
I didn't know what to
Did
wear.
you smack her in the face with a chair?
So
hey, it's the only thing I know.
I have to tell you, I'd never
Put that
heard.
sock on his dick.
I did not. I was not aware of the freedoms that being on Sirius satellite allowed performers. And I was in the green room listening to Christy and Ginger, and they were you were performing Cunnilingus on Christy as part of a bet.
Wow.
And Cunnilingus, I was eating your pussy, honey.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Can I say that here?
Yes, yes. We actually prefer it in any context.
You're blushing now.
I'm blushing because I realized Sam is a video camera. I could have other side. Well, I said, no, honey, we just pretended that she was sitting on my lap.
That's for Sam's personal catalog, believe me.
Here, I'll move on.
No, I enjoyed it. And,
ridiculous.
And I was really thinking about running out the door. Opening the green room door, just saying this is a mistake, and running out. And when I walked in on Ginger and Christy's world, the first thing Christy said was, "Mick, you spent a lot of time on the beach today. That face is kind of red." And but then it was literally like magic there, right? Like I was supposed to be on for 15 minutes, and I went to 3 hours.
I find that hard to believe that two porn girls licking each other's pussies would be a fun place to be, Mick.
Yeah, you didn't sell it well enough for everybody.
Wait, the show
was but I want to hear about the wrestling because I heard Ginger say that she was wearing diapers. I picked up on that.
You know, I've been practicing martial arts for about 20 years, and I thought, Mick Foley, okay, I can take Mick, but he's a little bit bigger than me, and I thought, well, how can I distract him in the best way? So Christy and I took our tops off, and we put diapers on, so we did adult diper wrestling.
That'll do it.
Can I
Mick, you're 6'5".
An adult diaper match. You getting diapers? I said get those diapers. $40 million. The bitch couldn't even win.
I don't know who won, Mick. Do you remember?
I remember Ginger kind of whispering to me right before we went on. She was like, "Don't worry, we won't hurt you."
Oh, wow.
And they had a safety word so that if things got out of hand.
What was it, coming?
She gave me the safety. She goes, "How about your safety word is I love Christy's big titties." And so I never was in a position where I had to say those words until I was home by myself later that evening. And said the safety word over and over.
Damn.
But I'm going to make a shocking admission here, and this is nothing that Ginger doesn't know, is that for anyone who has never been in a situation where they're diaper wrestling with two, not just porn stars, but icons.
Yeah.
You know, and Ginger's cool with this. She knows that Christy was my girl, that I am a monogamous masturbator. But that, I'd certainly caught a Ginger Lynn film over the years, but I find these two iconic performers who are writhing on me. And I could only think of my physicals in like 6th, 7th, 8th grade going out for sports, where you know the guy's gonna feel your balls, and you know you're not supposed to be aroused in any way, but you're hoping that you're not like shrinking unto yourself.
You need just enough.
Just enough. And
not embarrassing.
And while they're down, there was some incidental contact made with my genitals.
Oops.
Yeah, well,
and I'm
you're
like,
wrestling.
and I'm that same thing. I'm like, please don't do this to me. Nothing. I had nothing.
How horrible was your dick?
It was like pulling the head in the sand trick.
How awful! They had such high expectations
and I felt
too.
bad for the girls because I didn't want them to take it personally.
Yeah, it was just little nerves.
Yeah.
You were a little nervous.
Did they change your name to Androgynous Kind?
See, I don't remember it that way.
How do you
wait, I remember that you were quite impressive in all areas.
Nick. Wow, maybe you're selling yourself short.
So I'm thinking if that was crawled back up inside, oh my goodness, I don't know if I could do it if it wasn't.
They probably had a raging hard on, but he knows his wife's listening.
Yeah, he had to tell his wife, it was terrible.
I just didn't find it exciting, honey.
All I could do is just think of you, sweetheart.
Yeah, I thought of our wedding and how this,
the day-to-day monotony of this relationship.
How long? So when was the last film you did?
My last film I actually was in the spring of this year.
Oh wow, you're still working? Okay.
No, I stopped.
Oh, you did?
No, I did. I worked. I think it was March. It was just released last week. It's called Saw. It's the porn version of Saw.
Okay.
First scene that I ever did 27 years ago was with Ron Jeremy. And believe it or not, I still stayed in porn. I don't know why.
Yeah. Did he smell? He's a buddy of mine too, but people say he smelled. He would get a little gamey after a shoot.
Yeah, not just after a shoot. He's gotten better because my last scene ever was with Ronnie again in the movie Saw.
That's perfect bookending.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
I thought Rocky Balboa went out on a high. This is
begin and end the series with the same scene.
Right.
Yeah, Ronnie has he wears the same sweatpants pretty much every day for the last 10 years.
That's my kind of guy.
Yeah, but you might want to wash him in between. You don't smell funny. So he does have kind of a stench on occasion. But
now, where is the stench? Is it his chest hair, or his body, his balls?
It's kind of the whole thing, and then he covers it up with not deodorant, but cologne.
Yeah,
and I have to be careful because I'm doing a radio show
He's
with him
old
later
school.
today.
He's old school.
Why don't you got enough juice in this business to be like, can you bathe before you do that to me?
But I didn't work with him in between, so we had a 26-year space that we didn't work.
You thought maybe he cleaned up.
Yeah.
I thought maybe, and then
Can I draw a
wasn't as
wrestling
bad.
parallel here?
Sure.
Yeah, I was on the record, and a few fans thought that I was disrespecting Stone Cold Steve Austin by saying, when asked who the hardest hitters were, I said, there was a guy named Vader, who really racked your brains with those forearms. He'd come in with left to right, left, and just when you thought you'd kind of go with him, he'd hit you with 3 straight rights. But he was like another generation, and I said something like, but I'll tell you what, when that crowd was going and Austin's adrenaline was really running, being on the receiving end of his comeback punches was no day at the park. And then I said, but, you couldn't say anything because he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. You couldn't go by, hey, kid, you want to take it a little easier on me? Forget about the crowd and the fact that all these people are here to see you and that you're putting my kids through college. Take it easy on those punches. Same thing with Ron Jeremy. You really can't bring it up because he is the Stone Cold Steve Austin of porn.
That works.
He actually looks more like the Captain Lou Albano.
So the last scene you did was with Jerry. Was there a period where you stopped working when you first started?
Yes, a long period. I made my first 69 films in a 2-year, 3-month space. It wasn't intentional, but I did. It just happened.
69.
I think I actually had you in the 69 position last time I saw you.
And that's when absolutely
That's
nothing.
how I won.
happened. What?
Damn. True. Well, something about a diaper in your face probably wasn't too sexy.
How many years did you take off?
I might have lost the diaper at that point.
Well, don't fall.
But I took a 13-year, I stopped, thought I'd never come back, came back for a couple of years, made another 7 or 8 films, stopped for 10, came back a little over a year ago.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? The industry, it's just not what it used to be. I love sex. I love passion. I love everything that the build up and the kissing and then the nasty and the nice and all the different, you know? And when I came back, I did a few movies, and this is why I quit. I was on a set with a guy, and I'm now in the MILF category. So I get there and I walk in, and I like to find out what turns you on, what you like. And I went up and I said, "Hi, I'm Ginger, and we're going to be working together. What do you like?" And he goes, "I don't talk to performers before we work together." And he's like 18 or 19. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he's going to have a little difficulty, and, you know, I might make him uncomfortable. So I'll let him have his little time that he needs. And we start the scene, and I'm on my knees, and I'm
sucking his dick?
Sucking his dick. Well, I start to, and he goes, "Whoa, that's not how you do it." And I stopped, and I looked at the camera. It was one of those things where... And I looked at him and I said, "Honey, I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. I have awards for this. Shut the fuck up." And it ruined the whole... It was just like awful.
The whole vibe is ruined,
It was, you know, I mean... And,
that's
you know,
not how you do it?
What did he want?
Was his dick in your mouth?
Yes.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I think I won't say his name, Mikey Butter. And
Mikey Butter.
I guess his thing is you want him to do it really slow, you know. But I have my thing in the way I start and the way I go, and it wasn't his. But you could have said, "Baby, I like this a little better."
She's got a way.
If he would have asked you to slow down a little bit, but nicely.
I would have, you know what? I'm accommodating. I would have absolutely have done that. And had we spoken ahead of time, you could have said, you know, the tip's really sensitive. Stay away from that, or don't touch my balls. But I'm not going to go in and be, you know, I give a good blowjob. I really do. So
there's only one way to find out. It's not about me. It's about.
Can I ask a pointed question after I just want to mention my book so I get out of the way.
Why? This is a perfect segue into your book, My Raging Hard-On.
A hardcore journal. In my last book, I did talk about the first time I was on the show with Christy and Ginger, and how I could never run for political office.
That's pretty much you
once
give up.
Once they've got photographs of you simulating 69 with
you give up any
two
chance.
porn icons.
Those pictures come out, it's all over.
There are a few Christy mentions in the book.
You have to mention Christy.
I love Christy. And
we really do.
We all do.
And can I tell you,
please,
one of my fondest sexual memories, but this is after I ask you a question as an expert in the field of adult. How important is incorporating the balls?
How important is incorporating the ball? The ball. Comments.
Yes.
You know, I love balls. I think it's a personal preference, and it depends on what you do with them. My new favorite thing with my boyfriend, I like to stretch the sack, put it over my face, and kind of lick through the skin. So
how big is this sack?
Really?
You know, it's not that big, but I don't know what.
His name is Santa. It's a red velour sack.
There's just something about
wings.
I don't know. I've been around for a while, and I'm always exploring and finding new things. So yeah, not to where I'm going to hurt, but
silly putty bag.
Just kind of. He doesn't have a big ball sack. It's just you know. I just thought, well, what can I do with this? So I kind of stretch it over and lick through the.
Wow, that's fucking nice.
It's
that's
so
unique.
So if you like it, you know, I can add that in.
All right.
Kind of
falls under the term of incorporating, right?
There's nothing good than the female reach around is pretty good. If you're going at it and she wants to reach around and give a little jiggle down there.
Always nice.
That's
or just,
a
you know,
good one.
when you're giving a blowjob, to touch them gently and play with them. And you know
no
what?
one's going to argue with that.
No,
we're not going to get a fight.
But flicking is no good, right?
Flicking, not good.
No. You don't want to hurt the
partisan
balls.
politics.
You don't want to hurt them.
I like them.
Uppercut. You don't want an uppercut.
Yeah. I like them touched softly, held, cupped.
Yeah.
I like when a girl acts like because I have small balls. I like when a girl acts like they're big, like when she holds my balls and she goes, "Ooh."
See, but there's something to be said about small ones too, because I can get them both in my mouth at the same time.
Easily, yeah.
And then kind of juggle them with my tongue.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm all cock.
And have a phone conversation. It isn't garbled.
I don't normally admit this, but I have small balls, Ginger.
You got small balls, Mick. You didn't need to admit it. She felt it.
We'll go from wrestling to juggling.
All fucking wasp nest balls.
Can I attest to the professionalism of Ginger and her former co-host, Christy.
Yes.
Are you telling people why you're here and what you're starting?
Well, I
I
had that in mind, but then I sat down and I was so excited. I'm the only girl in the room with a bunch of guys, and I got excited, and then you're here, and that was so. It was just. I still haven't done that.
I just plugged my new book, Countdown to Lockdown, and I think you could talk about your new show coming.
Do you know how bored she'd be? By the way, excuse my interruption. Do you know how bored she'd be fucking all of us average fucks? What are we gonna do?
Oh, I teach
average.
No, you know what? I prefer civilian sex. It's much better because porn stars, they're robotic. It's automatic. ABC 1, 2, 3 fucking. There's a lot of slamming going on. You have to open up to the camera. No, it's
all right.
Porn on
regular,
film. It's not real sex. You've got real people who are passionate. You want to. There's a whole different rhythm that goes on. So no, we would be fine.
But back in the days when you were working, when you first started,
your lines.
who would you say was the best fuck? Because back in the older days, there was no Viagra, there was no cabbage, there was none of that stuff.
They were real people.
Yeah, they had to stay hard.
Tom Byron, always going to be one of my favorites.
Classic.
Yeah, I got a
good guy.
Jamie Gillis. Jamie had a whole other thing going on. He was so sick and twisted.
Yeah,
that was kind of a nice.
He talked a good dirty streak, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I like that.
I heard Paul Thomas was a real perv too.
He never did it for me. Never did it for me.
Only the old timers.
What about Russ Francis? You ever work with him?
The Cleveland, the New England.
Oh, he's the guy. Played
tight end for the Patriots. In the late 70s, but he had a great porn star mustache.
But I will go back to why I'm actually here. There's a couple things going on that I'm doing. Sirius has launched a new channel, the Spice Channel.
Yes.
I was on Playboy with Christy Canyon for several years. The Spice Channel launched Monday night, 7 p.m. Los Angeles time. I had the launch show. So we've got 7 to 11 is my show every Monday night, and it's a whole different. It's another series channel. Whereas when I was on Playboy, we had safe words and we were able to go to a certain place. On the Spice Channel, I have no limits. I can pretty much do whatever I want. Well, like Monday, I played Will My Pussy Melt This? Wonderful game all by myself. Velveeta cheese. Awesome. When it came out, it was shaped just like the inside of me.
You put Velveeta cheese in your vag?
Why the fuck are we talking?
Really?
Why are we talking?
What a great fit that
is. We got to do something today.
How come we can't do it?
Did you guys see the Dow just dropped 15 points?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. We got Ginger Lynn in studio.
And the funny thing is, I normally don't like Velveeta.
I'm not a big fan either, but I just, the crayon didn't work so well. I think with more time, I could have melted the crayon. Milky Way.
No. We're confused because we have a no insertion policy on our show, but you're sticking stuff up your...
She's just doing it. She's not listening. Right. She's just doing what she wants to do. That's what she should do.
Is there... Well, we have a no insertion policy as well, but only, I believe that's with actual body parts. I couldn't put
let's melt some shit today, man.
If I went, try to melt my cock.
I don't.
We couldn't do that.
No, we could not do that. And
I'd love to with the heel of my boot.
What if
Can
I
you
said,
melt this
Ginger,
at the end of my cock?
Try to melt my heart.
Hopeless romantic.
We don't want to.
Makes a hopeless
Ginger
romantic.
is definitely a very good talker, but we should do something. Wait, Ginger, can we do one of your bits today on our show? We got a nice audience.
I didn't bring anything to melt, but can I make one more shameless plug?
Yes, of course.
The other thing that I'm doing, all of the ladies in the adult film industry, we've been around for, some of us, 6 months, 6 days, 6 years. Mm-hmm. But everything we wear on film, we wear one time. Before you do the scene, if you're with somebody you like, your panties get wet, and it's a lot of fun. Well, after we wear that article for one time, there's nothing to do with it. I used to sell them on eBay, can't do that anymore. I guess it's a hazard.
Really?
So I've started GingerLynnAuctions.com. I've got about 25 girls right now, porn stars that are posting everything that they wear in film on the site.
To be sold.
To be sold.
Now, is this a direct result of like the tube eights and those types of things, just out of curiosity, or is this just taking advantage of the internet? A little bit of both. Because I was wondering, because
they've lost some money.
Yeah, like I just put out a stand-up DVD, and it's like you're trying to sell as many as you can before people upload it, and they start. It's just amazing.
Well, you can't upload the articles, right?
The articles, and there's
That's
a million porn
saying.
sites where you can watch anything. But, the day a movie comes out, it's everywhere. My panties, the ones I'm wearing right now, there's one pair.
Right.
If I hump something in here, my panties get wet. they're the only ones that I'm going to have that I was on the Opie and Anthony show humping whoever or whatever I humped, and they're
With
up
wet
on
panties.
GingerLynnAuctions.com. So
do you hear what she's saying?
Do
She
you
wants
put him
to
in a
hump
little
something. Why are we
Do
still
you put
talking?
them in a Ziploc bag to retain?
I do. I Ziploc them up every time I do one of my shows on my series shows when I'm
Sealed
done.
for freshness.
Yes.
Because, but they're, yeah.
Put it in Tupperware and burp it.
Wait, your show's every Monday through Friday? Well, it says the Jerk Box with Ginger Lynn, Monday through Friday.
Jerkbox is Monday through Friday. It's Sirius 108 XM 248. I'm only on Monday nights as of now from 7 to 11.
Who's on the rest of the week?
Give up
We've
on
got
civilization. Laugh.
Taylor Wayne. We have Debbie Diamond. We have Jessica Bangkok. We have Kylie Ireland. Gosh, you don't know that we just started Monday, so I don't.
This is like Playboy Radio in a way, kind of, but a little bit more explicit.
It's
cool.
Yes, it's the naughty version of that.
And Christy ships over to.
Let's just picture making a movie of the journey.
Also.
I think Christy
the same
Canyon will
thing.
be on Spice in the near future. Yes.
Hey, we got to do something with Ginger Lynn. She's up. She's up for something. What can we do with you today, Ginger?
Well, I was hoping. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 men in the studio, and you guys can't think of anything. Mick, any
Mick,
ideas?
what would you like Ginger Lynn to do? Melt something with her pussy, or what do you want?
I have some haiku poetry that I.
Melt my new DVD, available on iTunes.
There you go.
Hey, Phil Burr.
Why can't we think of something? Come on.
I didn't bring
Because
any
it's been
props.
so long since
It
we've
has been
had
so long. You're
anything
absolutely right.
that we could do.
I think I might have some candy left over from Halloween in the office. Should we go see what we got? Maybe we can melt
Yeah,
something.
that sounds good.
Maybe
Now,
like a
just
sugar daddy.
Yeah.
For that? Sugar daddy?
Let's see what kind of candy you got in the office.
We could try that. The thing is, it's a little bit messy. I
we
usually
don't
bring
care.
a paint tarp.
Oh, we don't care.
Oh,
we
yeah.
like messy.
Yeah, that's
we just,
fine.
that rug. You know what that rug has seen? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Can I point to the professionalism
Yes,
of Ginger
yes.
Lynn?
Yes,
Of
Mick
course.
And
I
the
love
passion
you.
with which she brings to her
Absolutely.
trade. For my viewing pleasure, I was asked to do the commentary while Ginger attempted to manipulate Christy into climaxing. Do you remember this?
I do remember
And I
this.
believe it may have even been her offhand, not even her good hand.
Damn.
And
Southpaw.
Christy had to keep saying to me, radio, so that I would actually speak because
You'd comment.
my mouth was just wide open. And what I was watching Ginger
Double perfect
climaxing
rainbow.
as she helped Christy
Yeah.
reach orgasm. And
Wasn't it
I
great?
never saw
Yes.
someone that turned on to turn on somebody
Wasn't
else.
it great to be able to comment on it, though, without hearing in your ear, talk about a clitoris! What are you doing, Mick? You don't know how to announce this properly!
We're Team Mick. We're not Team Vince there, Mick Foley.
Vince would be blasted in his
Right,
ear
right.
about what he's not doing announcing.
Yeah.
It was Christy gently looking at me going, radio. Like meaning I have
We're
to. I have
on
to
the radio. You talk about how she's doing digital manipulation. You better talk about it, Foley.
No, Mick, I don't want to get you in any trouble here. You're a happily married man
Yes,
with
of course
4
he
children.
is.
Countdown to lockdown is just come out.
Right.
Now, if I'm running around putting things inside of me, this might ruin your reputation, and I do love you enough to not want to do that.
I'm promoting a project, and so I don't want to be away from home for this many days, but I'm doing it for the
Yeah.
book.
For the
And
book.
as long as I'm not actively participating. Or
Yeah,
even cheering you
then
on.
it's
As
fine.
long as I'm
Sure.
an observer,
Hey.
I don't
then you'll be
object
fine.
to doing anything.
I got a wrestling question.
Yes.
The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. What do you know about that?
Wow, man! Somebody
What do you
sent
know
me the
about
link.
that?
I did not know that they had.
Did they have
bad
history?
blood. I did not know because
Okay.
I wasn't there at the time, but it certainly looked like they had history. I don't think Brock was in any mood to play along with a storyline.
No, not after that. thrashing.
Yeah, that's a weird place to start a storyline.
And I would not want to be like in Brock Lesnar's head right now because it's great for him that he's got an outlet for all that rage he appears to have in the MMA ring.
He would
But-
murder the fucking Undertaker. He's a
yeah.
murderer.
Yeah, that'd be and the Undertaker's one tough individual. Like
Right.
Taker said, if this was 20 years ago, he would have ventured into MMA. But
Yeah,
there
that's
was
easy
no
to say,
MMA
though.
when he got
Yeah, of
involved.
course.
He's actually got involved in 85 or 86.
But you talk to people. What are they saying?
They're saying that they had some heat over
But what's-
something.
Do you know?
I
You just
do
don't
not
wanna
know.
say?
Why would he
I
reference
don't
it after
know.
the guy lost a championship fight?
Yeah, he goes, you want to do this now?
What are you doing? The guy just lost a real fight.
We couldn't see what Brock was saying. I mean, from that vantage point, Brock walked by.
He
obviously
said, wanted out of there.
I think Brock just looked at him when he said it. It didn't look like Brock, again, because of the way he referenced it, Brock kind of looked almost like, what? Like, really?
What happened? Am I completely out of the loop
MMA.
here?
Brock Lesnar lost.
I know he lost.
To Cain Velasquez, and as he was walking away, the Undertaker
was being interviewed,
and he goes, "You want to do this?" It was something like that, and then Brock just kind of looked. You want to show Dan? It's a very, very fast clip.
Yeah, they were looking at each other a little.
It was a weird moment, though, but to me it seemed like the guy just lost
really
the fight.
strange moment, and nothing else has come out about it. So, I thought Mick might have some inside info.
No chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
Yeah.
You guys have Belladonna on your station?
No, we don't. I haven't seen her
She
in
does good
quite
radio.
some time.
She's great.
Does she?
Yeah, her and her husband do it.
You know what? I'll have to give her a call. I would love to have her on.
We just witnessed. I'm a little bit shocked. You know, I thought Brock was going to come out strong like he did. I thought Kane's chances would be better if they went into the 4th or 5th round. I'm a little bit shocked. I thought Brock might have got to him early, but you know what? Kane's a hell of a fighter, and he did a hell of a job. Do you think, considering the size difference, that he'd be able to manhandle him like that? No, I didn't think so. I think Brock's strength and size would overmatch him. I thought he would have to go into a cardio battle, and I'm actually very surprised. It's almost like you're at a loss for words here. You want to do it? That was Brock Lesnar right there. What did you just say to him? It's kind of a personal thing. I think maybe he needs to. I think he needs to train a little harder. Are you guys cool? Personal.
Then why'd you mention it during a television interview?
Because he's hyping. They're hyping something.
Something's
that's
going
good. Yeah, that
I think he was saying, like, do you want to do it? Like, are we still going out to that movie afterwards?
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Like, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, drive on. Who's calling
And
the
look,
ticket?
as far as I'm concerned, whenever you use the word doing it,
it's always sex.
That's right, because
That's what I think.
Earlier,
of.
Ginger asked me that question, and I
want to do it.
You want to do it?
Do we have the candy?
Finally kill this tension between us?
Danny, we got the candy or what?
Well, as it turns out, all the candy has been eaten.
Oh,
but
I
did find a vuvuzela.
She's not gonna melt that. Come on.
Maybe she could blow it or something.
Yeah, do you queef?
Do I what?
Queef?
Ew.
I see that we got the vuvuzela, so I'm thinking, I'm just trying to think on the spot.
You know, occasionally every woman queefs, but if you're a regular queefer, you probably have a really big puss. I've queefed, I can think of once in like the last couple of years.
Damn.
So
we
no,
basically
I'm not,
want you to play that with your pussy. We're trying here.
Yeah, the next World Cup
comes
comes in 3.5 years.
Huh?
Next World Cup is in 3.5 years. We want to start getting the fan base moving.
We have. I hear that there's candy en route.
Oh, candy
en route.
In the meantime, Mick, what's in the book? What do you got in there? I know you've written a lot of books. What's this one about?
I'm thinking about the candy.
Can I see the book?
This is called filler, Mick. Until the candy arrives. We don't really even give a shit about your book.
There's some of those sensitive stories you guys tease me about. I covered up with some sophomoric humor and some violence, but I try to make some serious. I do make some serious points in there, and have a couple chapters I'm really proud of. And there's a chapter about visiting that little boy in West Africa that you guys hounded me endlessly.
Yeah, this is not a novel. This is real.
Yeah. This is.
Okay.
It's like a 6-week journal. Takes you behind the scenes to the build up as I try to get ready to take on Sting. So it's similar in feel to the last one I did, but it's a completely different story because everybody involved is completely different company. It's my first post WWE book.
Oh, right.
Even though WWE mentioned my book 3 times.
What was that
on
about?
their show? You know what? I think I just came out and defended Linda McMahon from the criticism of her being associated with us because I took that kind of personally. Like,
she really did. Like, I thought it was ridiculous that what's his name? Friggin' old Dick
Blumenthal.
Blumenthal. Thank you.
Yeah.
was using the WWF and WWE against her, like she's the one.
She kicked Jim Ross in the genitals, and that's being shown
it's like,
on the air as reason why she wouldn't make a good candidate. It was ugly. I was in Florida for the World Series, and you had to sit through like back to back to back to back negative campaign ads about different the same candidates. There'd be one about this one running for governor, counter it with the other one. It appears to be the same voiceover guy doing every negative ad in the country.
Best. They got through by lying. And then the music, the ominous music that they've.
That was like in California. Everybody running for governor, you didn't know what anybody stood for. All you knew was just everybody was evil.
Everyone else
evidently
was a
who was
scumbag,
running. Yeah.
And then they just tell you like. This guy, and then the music goes ding 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 ding, and this guy's got 3 children, and he's been married for 18 years, and it's a wonderful guy, but nothing about platform or anything. And the other guys are all scumbags.
All right, let me see.
Liars,
Norton came
cheats.
across something.
What
do we have?
No, Jimmy.
What do we have?
It was just
came across his leg looking at Ginger.
I see the look Jimmy's giving.
I happen to open up Countdown to Lockdown 22 days, and I open up on March 28th on board Continental Flight 1033 New York to Houston. I've taken that flight many times. And I'm looking, and this is what jumps out at me. You were thinking that was a long way to go for free, and that you thought they were going to fly you in coach.
Yeah.
And then she said, "We love you. We're flying you first class." You don't always fly first class. You're Mick Foley. You're a wrestler.
I do sometimes. When it's official wrestling business, TNA, WWE. But I'm looking now at going over to the UK on the 10th. I've got a Daily Show spot. I'm going to be the guest on the Daily Show the 10th. Nice. And I'll have to leave what hopefully will be a triumphant moment, and then sit in 27C all the way to London.
Why?
Man, because I'm funding the trip myself. And while I make a great argument to the people I work for that I deserve to sit in business, when it comes to actually footing the bill myself,
Are you
I'll
a cheapskate?
suffer in silence. Oh man, I'm legendary.
Are you legendary?
I love it.
I think I have heard that he's a legendary cheapskate.
Yeah, you're a cheapskate.
Why?
Well, if you look,
don't you have miles you can upgrade with?
I've been working on it, man. It's hard, Norton.
Yeah, but dude, first class and business class tickets in defense are just so ridiculous.
They really are expensive, but
they are.
When you're
get that extra $2,000 on your credit card, it's like,
this is an 8-hour trip. I mean, I can
He's Mick
suffer
Foley.
a book. Ginger's creating memories for me now that I'm going to refer to over there. And if you see, I donated the advance, 100% of the advance to 2 groups that work with victims of sexual abuse. This is where I drag your show down here.
Drag your show? What do you mean? You're sexying it up.
It's half the female guests we've had on this show.
So you
if it wasn't for those creeps, we wouldn't have the freaks coming on here.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the groups is RAIN, Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, OP.
And the other one is the group that I sponsor kids through. The money involved goes to victims of rape from the...
Wow.
But my daughter, read the flap cover. That's where they learned that Dad was donating the money. She was all over me, like, how can you be so cheap at home and then give all your money
That
away?
is a good point. Why is that?
Yeah, can we talk about your cheapness? What do you do at home
Is that
drives your
an OCD
kids?
thing?
That drives your kids
upbringing.
nuts.
I have not purchased anything for myself for years.
Why?
I bought
Why?
2 pairs of $15 warm-up pants because I'm on a book tour and I had to look good.
But why, Mick? It's odd. You're not broke, are you? You have money?
No. I like making money. I like saving it. I like investing
Looking at
I
it.
like giving it to places, but I don't like spending.
But how about your family notice? Are you cheap with them too?
Cheaper than they like.
No, I want examples of
That's
that.
an OCD type of thing.
Of course it is.
There's a weird, because I knew a guy like Jason, who was obsessively cheap to the point where it was sociopathic.
Right.
Like it wasn't just like being smart; it was being ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It's like you're not enjoying your money. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I'm not nearly as bad as I used to be, because I was one of those guys who would I mean, I was a WWE champion, and I was sleeping on couches of fans or on the cot at the Red Roof. And you want to know, this is what made me. I'll be honest. This is the moment where I changed. You know, this was like a defining moment for me. I slept on a couch in St. Louis, and that morning, like it must have been 15, 20 horrible-looking people coming over, knocking on the door, and I was like, well, you know, when I had the belt, you know, I was like, well, they probably just want to see the champ. I shouldn't look down on people, no matter how scummy they may look and how early they're getting over here. And 2 days later, my friend from St. Louis calls me up to apologize for all the people coming over. I said, well, that's all right. You know, they probably wanted to see the belt, meet the champ. And he goes, no, they weren't there to see you. And I said, what were they there for? And he said, oh, my girlfriend's a crack dealer. And at that point, I was like, you know, maybe the Red Roof doesn't look so.
But why did you put yourself through that, the unpleasantness of that, even if they were fans?
Yeah, because you can get a really cheap hotel.
But why would you?
And I've laid in those.
What's the use of money if you're not like living?
Because you
great.
you never knew when it was going to run out. That was the problem.
Yeah,
You never knew.
But so what if it did? You couldn't be any worse. If it ran out, you already know you can sleep with fans.
That's what I just said. You still don't sleep with your fans. I don't
get it.
Do you sleep with your?
No, you sleep with your fans.
I really
you
don't.
fuck them and then leave. Then I go to my 5-star hotel suite. I leave them in their fucking shitty Datsun.
But I will. All right, in my defense. When WWE when they had me doing something promotional, they'd pick up the tab.
Sure.
And they were putting me in lesser hotels than they would the other talent.
Oh shit!
And then
so
I said, and they said, well, we knew you didn't like classy hotels, and I said, no, I myself may not be classy, but I have no problem in staying in a classy hotel. I like the big hotels and the nice hotels, and I've got miles. I'll spring for it.
They're
I'm pretty
write-offs,
good.
though, Mick. They're write-offs for business. They're all for your book tour. And it's like the reason I fly myself first is because most times other people fly me. It's like I get fucking first. I get lucky in the contractual.
You know, when you're on a book tour, you know you're not getting paid, but you can eat whatever you want and bill it to the company. And I don't bill anything to the company.
Why?
And I just said, I say in this book, I said I'm sorry, I will not pay for $50 eggs, no matter who's paying for them, and I never have, and I never will.
That's a weird. I understand the idea of being smart with money, but it's like I get so lucky where I get flown. Like I'm not having to fly myself. So what? 5 or 6
dude,
flights
that comes
a
out
year.
of your end. That's going to come out of your end.
See, I need to move into.
No, when NBC flies me somewhere, or whatever. No.
Oh, not that. I mean, if you're doing like a stand-up gig, that's the thing. I realize, like, when you sit there and you go into the green room and there's the whole spread that they put out there.
It does come out.
That's all your money.
But that's why my deli trays are very small. I don't waste money. But when they give me X amount of dollars and then they give a flight buyout, I use that. And sometimes if it's 3 hours or less, I'll fly coach because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But long flights, fuck that. I'm 42. Like, what am I going to do with the? What am I wait until I'm 80? I'm going to spend it all on one great blowjob? The fuck am I going to do with it? And I don't mean waste it on fucking $200,000 cars. But if you got to travel, you're a big dude.
Dude,
man.
I did that for like 2 months, thinking I was at the level I could fly first class, and I got that $6,000 credit card bill just in plane tickets, and I was just like, I think I'll sit in the back.
100% write off though.
100% if it's longer than 6 hours, if I'm flying overseas, then I'll do it. Other than that, I'll sit there with my knees in my chest.
Well, you guys that are flying all the time, it is crazy to just pay for yourself in first class.
Florida's a waste because you don't really get a meal.
No,
it's not. I'm not. If it's $300 or $900, I'm not going to spend $900 to go to Florida. It's stupid.
Yeah, but he doesn't even buy clothes for himself.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about
here's
that.
the paradox.
We're not even close to normalcy here.
I will not buy clothes myself, but I will risk half the money I've made in my life to have Ginger Lynn sitting on my lap on video.
There you go. See?
Writhing uncontrollably.
See?
There we go.
How many books?
Say goodbye to that money.
Hold on.
I'm not done with this.
Someone outside the studio saying someone has to go, and they're getting really obnoxious about it.
Who is it? Me?
Sorry.
I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
But they're giving like an obnoxious wrap it up. Who?
I can stay. I can stay.
Well, okay.
Well, you're
I jumped
distracting
off.
everybody.
She just wanted me off your lap. Now I know what it is.
I like to find the loopholes, the marriage loopholes.
Saying, that Mick's crazy about his money talk. I guess she's from the book company.
All right. Something weird was going on. It's like, come in if you have something to say. We have an open door.
So I want to get back on this because it's an interesting person because you're such a nice guy and you seem like a generous guy. You don't seem like a self-centered
He's
asshole.
charitable, but not to himself.
Were you raised poor?
We were frugal. You know, I didn't know when I was growing up.
Sounds like cube steaks to me.
A lot of cube steaks, and my friends would come over to my house and wear their winter coats because the heat was down like at 56 or so.
When you were a kid or as an adult? You mean?
When I was a kid.
So that horrible lesson you kind of stuck with, and it's like you're not going to run out. You got enough.
You never know.
Chip beef on toast.
But what do you need that you couldn't get if you ran out? Like, couldn't you put X amount of money away and then just go, I will not touch that?
I've done that. But I just sleep easier at night knowing that I don't really need anything.
What was the last time you treated yourself? You just like to hell with it.
He doesn't.
No, I got to get in on. I got to get in on this because I think I was raised similar to Mick, where my mom convinced all of us that we were going to be on the street at any moment. Did you have that type of thing going on in your house, where the money was going to run out?
No.
My mom was frugal. I didn't get the fucking heat, none of that shit. I didn't get new clothes, new sneakers, none of that. So as I grew up, I became kind of cheap as well because I was scared that, at any moment I was going to be broke. Right?
Yes. And that's, breaking into wrestling, there was absolutely no money.
Right.
And now I look at it, I get my own room, and I get a decent hotel when it's up to me. I'm not as cheap as rumor would have it. But I will not order $50 eggs, no matter who's
Yeah, but you're
picking up
sleeping
the
on
tab.
fans' couches. That's insane.
Not anymore. That's just
But
the
when you were
crap.
huge,
Yeah.
I mean, when I met Mick Foley, I was on the Long Island Railroad. He couldn't have been bigger in the WWF at the time. And he's on the fucking Long Island Railroad. I'm looking at this guy like, why aren't you getting a car to bring you into the city?
And I was thinking the same thing about you, pal. I thought this guy was successful. He's taking the train.
The radio show was pretty successful. What the fuck were we doing on that train? But we grew up very
cheap
similar.
fucks on the Long Island Railroad.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm like, that's
the Chisler Express.
I think it's hilarious that he's thinking the same thing because I'm looking at you like he's like I think you were the champion at the time, and we're on a shitty Long Island Railroad.
I had the belt.
You had the belt with you.
Well, nobody's even mentioned my medal of
Because what is it?
reasonableness.
Because we think it's a Special Olympics thing.
medal
We're
of
all
reasonableness.
Special Olympics.
What's that medal?
Medal
around
of
your neck?
reasonableness.
I was given this by Jon Stewart at the Rally to Restore Saturday.
Right,
There's
right.
only 4 of them out there.
Medal of reasonableness.
So
'Cause
therefore,
you were being reasonable.
That's pretty funny.
This is a reasonable question. All right, we would like Ginger to do something.
Yes, let's get it back to Ginger.
Fair enough.
that's
Do you
true.
think? This is just
an idea,
hypothetical. Would you be able to achieve orgasm on my knee?
Holy shit! Now we're talking, Ginger.
Let's get money out. What do people think?
Riding it.
And can we bet how long it would take?
Yes.
I bet she could.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt
She's
she can.
pretty,
So we've got 3 yeses.
Yeah, but now we
You
Anybody
know
else?
what? Just to keep it interesting, I'm going to say no.
Oh, Bill.
Here we go. Here we
She's
go.
very
Get your
I
money up.
wouldn't bet against
There's got to
her.
be a
She's very
time limit,
excited.
though. Let's put some pressure here.
No, she's gonna absolutely get an orgasm going. $20 a man. Nick, how long do you think it would take?
I'll bet an under over then.
How long do you think it would take her to
We're
get
not
off
betting
on
against-
Mick Foley's
What's
knee?
your quickest time?
By myself, I'm actually a humper, so I do this a lot.
Oh, so this is a
I mean, not on
guarantee.
other people.
Is that how, do you come like on your stomach humping something?
I do. I hump,
Pillows or whatever?
My hands,
Oh, okay. pillows,
the washcloth. Traveling, I've done everything from
Get
the
your money out,
shampoo
boys.
bottle to a spoon, whatever it takes.
It would be like name that tune.
Yeah, that's
I
what
can
I'm
have an
saying.
orgasm, and what's the
So
over
now you
under?
got to be. You're
What's the
in-
over under?
Well, let me give
I
you
know
guys
she's gonna
something
be
to
able to
look
do it.
at. Though, if I'm going to try this, pull up GingerLynnAuctions.com.
Oh, no problem there,
So you
Ginger.
can see, and I want to see if there's a dildo I think that I have in my pussy. I wish I had my vibrating panties right now.
You know what is so nice is that
Oh.
maybe after this episode we could
The
auction
Belichick
off
panties.
both our undergarments.
Can I have your
We'll
panties?
make
Are you
soup
wearing
with
panties,
mix.
boxers, or briefs? What are you wearing, Nick?
They're Fruit of the Loom.
You've got Fruit of the Looms?
Yeah, and they're brand new, or they were brand new.
So glad
an
Mick's
hour
happily
ago.
married.
There's my pussy.
We see that, please? Thank you.
Now click on the top bar,
why are we
because you can see my
stalling?
pussy with the stockings in the lower left corner right there.
Yeah.
See, that's
I know, really. Who designed the website?
I did.
Shit, let's go.
You don't like it?
No, we
No.
love your website. I'm
He's
sorry.
trying-
We love it. We love
He's
it. We
saying
love
drop
it.
the puck.
Okay.
Yeah, we want you to drop the puck. GingerLynnAuctions.com. It's a wonderful website. I want to know who your web designer is because it's just terrific.
It's me.
Wow, look at you.
Yes, it's very
Multitasking.
nice. Now, if I do this, Nick, are you going to put your Fruit of the Looms up on gingerlandauctions.com?
2 minutes?
Well, Ginger.
Well, I need his panties. If I'm going to do this, I want Mick's
All right,
panties.
we're going to organize this, though. We got
Okay.
$20 a man.
It's gonna
Guaranteed
be-
less than 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
All right.
Like Price is Right. Closest to orgasm time without going over.
And it's just
All right?
my knee, so technically this is a loophole, right?
I'm wearing jeans. You're wearing
Danny, can you
pants.
put down
Everything.
the times? I'm going to go with 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 20 seconds, Bill Burr. Anybody else
1
in?
second. You know that cunt who always says $1? I'm not going to do that.
Let's just do
a
closest.
minute 47.
All right, let's write this down.
Another pertinent question
I'll
here
tell you
for
later.
Ginger.
Get out of here.
Is Christy going to be upset with me?
Anybody else in on this?
Because
No,
when
I
I'm
have
on
no
the-
money. I have $20
when I'm on
on
the
it.
Playboy show, I've never done anything, right?
No, you haven't.
I reject all the advances.
What'd you say, Bill?
I said a minute 47.
You know, I don't think it's a bad thing because we both have our clothes on. I know that you and Christy have a thing. I don't want you
What'd you say?
cheating on Christy. I'm not cheating on my man because I'm fully clothed.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a loophole here and we'll be all right.
It's a comedy
gray
bit.
area.
It's
For the comedy.
But what I do like is that they closed all the curtains around here. Everybody.
We have to because of human resources, so that we don't put somebody walks by, they get offended, we're in trouble.
Okay.
Anybody
All
else
right.
in? And Yin?
No, I'm just gonna look.
I don't want to bet 'cause I just want. I don't have
even
the
know
money.
what to bet.
So
What are
you're
we
the only
betting
we
on?
have
We're the two
nobody in but
degenerate
you.
gamblers here.
It's me and Bill Burr.
You-
So
that's it?
I say that she's going to get off on Mick Foley's knee in 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Bill's going with a minute 47. You really don't want in on this?
I say,
No, I'll just watch.
All right.
I say
guys bet.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Flat.
Yes.
Now, what are you guys going to be doing? Well, I'm getting a little
jerk
nervous
off.
now.
What
I'm
are you
getting a little
Staring there.
shy.
Awkward. Ah, damn it. Come on. Don't look at her. I got a minute 47.
I'm thinking if you're looking at me, I don't know if I can do this.
I'm going to eat a couple of junior mints. Let me have one of those junior mints, Dan.
All right, turn down the lights. Turn down the lights.
Yes, turn down the lights.
gonna
but
angrily
we'll show you
eat
my
junior
panties
mints.
first. You guys want to see
Yes,
what I'm
I
wearing
do.
underneath
Yeah,
of
I'd
this?
love
of course
to.
we do.
All right.
Oh, there we go. Lights
I
are
didn't
dimmed
really-
a little bit.
Ginger will be facing me or away from me.
I'm going to have to face you.
Okay.
Ginger, a little.
If I look at anybody else, I won't be able to do it.
All right.
I actually get shy.
Could I have a breath
hi,
mint in that
guys.
case? I'll take the junior mint.
You take a junior mint
So
too.
here's the panties that we have for the.
All right, she's got her little. What are those? Like a little black lacy number. Little black lacy number
Are you
thing
okay
going
with
on.
this, Nick?
I am
Bruins.
really okay with that.
The panties are working for you?
Yep, they're working.
Got that.
Is there any way Sam could turn off the camera so I could claim it was just
Yeah,
a
Sam,
Sam, I think
gag,
maybe
yeah.
Sam,
You cockwalker.
Sam, what the fuck are you?
fuck.
Come on,
TMZ, you
Sammy.
motherfucker.
Hey, what's wrong with you?
Well, you guys
Turn
have
that
to tell
thing
me you're
down.
actually going to be talking and not
What are
just.
you, the
I'm not going
internet?
to. I'm just getting shy.
All right. I'll talk
don't
about
you
my
worry.
Yeah, don't
my
worry
new
about it.
DVD available
Okay, there
on
you go.
iTunes.
iTunes.
You saw it on Comedy Central.
Are you
They
ready,
cut
Nick?
out 21 minutes of it.
That
Isn't that
son of a
incredible?
bitches.
Not
Wow.
as incredible as what's going on in here.
But you'll be able to see that. Cut
Yeah,
out?
they cut out 21
Wait,
minutes,
just-
like
should
a
we get
third
to
of the
see
damn
it?
special.
We get to see all, that 21 minutes.
Yes, you do. You get to see
do I-
21
it's
minutes. There's
extra.
all kinds of extras.
Oh, good. I like that.
She's not taking off her jeans.
No, she
I'll take the pants
just
off,
showed her
too.
panties.
All right, all
And I
right,
can
Danny,
grab
you
Ginger like
start
around
him
the
up.
waist, right?
Hold on, Ginger Lynn,
touch
listen
any of
to
your
Danny.
erogenous
All right,
zones.
It's really hard to
we'll
get going
we'll do
here.
it at the start. We'll count down from 3, and then I'll start the timer. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
All right. She is on Mick Foley's right leg.
She's grinding on his leg.
Yeah. She's
He's-
riding it.
He's sitting
Slowly.
there.
She really is
87.
slowly,
Anticipation is really building in the studio.
slowly grinding.
She's grinding on his leg.
Forward and backwards, and then she does a little circular motion there. That's nice.
Classic
she's-
hole here at
She's
Augusta.
breathing very deeply.
Yes, she's
have a
got her
mic on?
arms
Subtle
wrapped
difference
around
in the
Mick's
breath.
neck.
She's grinding like
Mick's rubbing her
she's
back.
making
That's nice.
sand or something.
That's good. She is getting off. She's going fast
It's a
enough.
nice feeling.
She's going faster.
I'm not breaking any marital vows.
I like,
outwardly.
Mick, you look more like you're soothing her, like it's going to
I'm
be
soothing.
okay.
Exactly.
She's had a bad day.
Yeah.
How are you still married? I mean, let's be honest.
Yes, looks like you're burping her.
Wow.
Sorry.
Oh, Uncle Paul. Yeah, she's kind of going really fast, a little harder now.
Would you be able to get away with that?
Mick, you feeling any heat on your leg now?
Yeah, because she's
still have a
famous. Yeah,
relationship?
because she's famous. Yeah.
Okay. All right, she's
The way her ass moves,
Yeah,
that is
faster,
really.
faster.
That's very intimate looking, though.
Well, she's used to.
Ginger can
she's
feel
done that
free to
for years.
whisper naughty things to me if she wants.
She's trying to pretend you're anyone but you.
Don't make her laugh. Come on, I want to win that money.
Yeah, come on, no laughing. No laughing.
Sure.
There it is.
Whoa, look at her. She's pulsing.
That's really sexy.
That's my girl.
Wow.
God, her ass looks good.
Holy shit.
Into it.
That was it.
I saw her. Yeah, I think we called it.
That was really sexy to watch the way her ass was grinding on his leg.
When she was pretty much done, it was right about 1:30.
That's great.
Ooh, 1:30.
Wow.
Nice.
That was very intimate.
Bill Burr pulls it off and
Take the money.
takes the cash.
Yay.
Wow.
Billy wins.
How warm is your leg?
It's warm.
Yeah.
Does he have a hard on, Ginger?
Jesus H. Christ! I think you've got a hard on.
I was a good girl. I didn't touch it.
No, just the visual. Does it look like? I mean, he wears sweatpants. It's pretty easy to figure
It's
out.
looking very nice.
Oh, Mick.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm saying anatomically, there's a long distance between my knee and my other body part.
I
So,
hear you.
Yes.
That's a good alibi.
I feel I have a clear conscience. I cannot run for public office.
No, that's long gone.
Listen, we got to take a break because we got a big-time director coming in here. A movie that is getting great reviews. Four Lions. Chris Morris is going to be in studio next. You guys can hang, certainly.
Yeah, hang out.
What's the big plugs, just in case we get busy?
Your book?
Oh yeah, my book Countdown to Lockdown, available bookstores everywhere. I'll be on the Daily Show the 10th of this month, and I have a comic book coming out in the middle of the month called RPM.
And whose couch will you be sleeping on tonight?
Yeah, that's right.
Mine.
I may not be.
I'm a fan.
You can catch Mick. He'll be in the middle section on the flight to Singapore.
Right.
The middle section, middle seat.
And sleeping in his own basement.
Thank you, Bill.
Away from his wife. And Ginger, what are we plugging there?
My new show on Spice Radio. That's Sirius 108, XM 248, and GingerLynAuctions.com.
Are you doing any from here?
No, doing it out of the Los Angeles studio.
Okay.
So when you're in L.A., Jimmy, maybe you do the show.
Yeah, come on
I'm
in.
usually not out there on a Monday. I'm going to be out there next week.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Oh,
maybe.
God, come. We'll talk.
right.
I'd love you Monday.
All right, very good.
Sirius XM, the virus.
I can't believe anyone is still listening to this show.
You're listening to Opie and Anthony.
Unbelievable. We got Bill Burr in studio. Really fast because we got Chris Morris walking into the studio. Bill's got a DVD out that's doing really well, and I did not know this. It was on Comedy Central. I didn't know that, the special.
Right.
But the DVD has 21 minutes more material that most people didn't see.
Because it's an hour and 5 minutes long. The 5 minutes is already gone, and then you have 16 minutes of commercial. So what's killing me is people have only they missed a third of the special, and they cut out 2 killer bits. The thing about the bankers microchipping you,
all right,
and and the one about the automated checkout lines. It's funny they cut those 2 bits out, but me talking about thinking about committing suicide, they're like, that's fine. That part's fine. We'll leave that in. Yeah, just
part of the Illuminati.
As long as you don't mess with our scams, so we're fine with it.
The headline is "Get Bill Burr's latest DVD. You get a lot more material."
Yeah, it's been doing great on.
Sorry about the
great.
burn. I just shoved an omelet down my throat in 3 minutes.
All right, yeah, it's
a busy show today.
Been doing great on iTunes, and it would be awesome if you go out. It makes a great gift, Christmas gift for somebody you don't give a shit about, but have to buy a gift for. It's $20. Here you go, asshole. Yuck it up. See you next year.
Order now.
There you go. I'm done whoring myself up.
Bill, to your right, Chris Morris. What's up, Chris? Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
A few of us saw Four Lions and just absolutely loved it. This movie that's coming out, I think, coming out tomorrow in L.A. and New York, right?
Yeah. A few other places as well. I don't have the list with me, but, you know.
But
we're up and down the country.
Pleasantly surprised, and Jim Norton said that he now, has faith in comedy again.
I love this movie so much because everything is such politically correct shit, and they always wreck it. And I'm like, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm loving this movie, and I'm like, they're gonna fuck this up. I'm gonna hate this by the end. I know they're gonna do it, and you didn't do it. It was like
so how could we have fucked it up at the end then?
I don't want to say the ending. I don't want to give away the ending.
Yeah, see,
you know what I mean? But I will say this: it didn't go in the direction I thought it was gonna go in. To me, you humanize suicide bombers, but not in an apologetic, make the people they're trying to kill feel guilty way.
Yeah, I mean, look, that kind of mission, you're heading towards a wall. So I guess you were saying you don't want somebody to say, stop the car, get out, go and have a picnic before you hit the wall, right?
Or that we're stupid to think that people would be suicide.
That's how you would have fucked it up, obviously.
Yeah.
But we don't want to, that's a big part of the movie.
Well, there's an afterlife.
I think could have
goes on
fucked up
forever,
by
right?
being Queen Latifah in it as the sassy black woman. That would have wrecked it.
Well, how about we start with this?
They could have wrecked it by making some dog shit social message that was meant to preach to people not to be Islamophobe. And it was none of that. It was just these guys are complete bumbling idiots.
You don't want finger wagging, do you?
No.
I mean, you just don't want that in a film.
No.
If you get that in a film, go home. I mean, people
Especially
should
a comedy.
burn
I like when
cinemas
films
if they-
make up my mind for me. This is just being spoon-fed.
Yeah, but no, we played it to people, right? And people put it, ask questions at the end. One or two people go, can you tell me what I think?
Can you tell me what I think?
Yeah, I know, you get that.
Can we start with what the movie's about in your words?
Okay, it's about bumbling jihadi terrorists.
There you go. That's basically what we said.
But there's so many cases where that actually happens. I mean, have you heard of the bottle rocket bomber?
No.
Okay, well, there was some trouble with ink cartridges last Friday.
Right.
Right. The guy that made those bombs decided, because they're dissident Saudis, and he wanted to kill a Saudi prince, and he thought the best way to do this was to turn his brother into a bomb. So he had a word with his brother. His brother agreed. The bomb mechanism suppository, basically.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh no!
And so basically, he goes to see the Saudi prince, and the plan is he goes, "Hello, prince," and hits the button. But they got the dynamics wrong, because if you let off a bomb in a tent, it's very different to letting it off in a hard room. In a hard room, the explosion comes back and you achieve your aim. This is in a tent. So he saw the prince, he hit the button and fired himself straight through the ceiling. And the prince just goes, oh well, next.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not sure how high he got. I was talking to an intelligence analyst about this, right? But he couldn't give me the height. But I'm hoping it was over 50 feet.
Wow. So you don't hear enough about terrorists miserably, or how dumb a lot of these guys are.
There are a few videos out there that you could see of guys with like Stinger missiles that don't quite work.
Loads.
Missiles that just fall out of the front, and they're like, oh, and they just go running away from the thing. It's hysterical. Some of these, they're really bumbling.
I know
they
the
blow
one.
themselves up. I've seen a lot of videos because they video them, and they're like, and then something horrible happens. They're like, ah.
I don't know how you feel about this. But that one you just described, they're Canadians.
Yes,
the one with the huge. I mean, when I saw that, I thought, are we going to be able to match this in the film? Because that is
really
the funniest.
funny.
I mean, even if you told someone it's the funniest thing that they're ever going to see, they'd still laugh. You could never let it down.
The missile just falls out of the front of the launcher right in front of these guys, and they're all just like, ah!
It's like giving birth. Away. It's like the launcher just gives birth to this.
It was so crazy. A lot of people thought it was a fake video. There's no way this actually happened.
No, because they were scared shitless, so they went running away from it.
There was a cool thing. The relationship between these guys. Like one of the guys, Omar's name was kind of the smarter guy who was running it. And then there was the more radical guy who they just wanted to shut the fuck up because he kept drawing attention to them by saying, and he's like, what did he say? Like, I'm not drawing attention. They're like, you put a Twin Towers cake outside the synagogue on 9/11. Hide in plain sight. It was really fucking.
Hide in plain sight.
The great dialogue between these guys was fucking great.
Who came up with the dialogue for the movie?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, obviously I'm here, none of the other writers are here, so it was all me.
So it was all you. Yeah, very good. You're a smart man.
There's a bit of improvisation.
Because the writing is right on.
We were wondering, because if you notice, I think even England seems to be more PC as far as catering to Muslims than the United States even.
You mean going around and giving them food?
Well, not catering in that way. Although I don't know England. Perhaps. You just being more politically correct, making sure to not offend, It seems to be that they call it the nanny state.
It's black and white for here, and Islam and non-Islam. It seems like for there.
It's weird, because I think there's kind of in Britain there's a sort of submerged. You kind of like disguise your racism. I think that's the way it works. It's kind of like polite racism.
Oh, that's.
Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
I think that's it. There's quite a lot of it. But it's very different, because I mean, there's kind of 1 million people whose families come from back in Pakistan, and they've been around for 50 years, and people just tend to think, okay, well, shut up unless you make a good curry, is the kind of feeling that you get. Yeah. But I mean, it's not quite as you described. But I think, when you get kind of super liberals, they're allowed to be racist as well, but they have to pretend they're not. Right. So it's kind of that's probably the impression.
Have you gotten any flack for this from any? Because it's an amazing topic to fucking attack in a comedy, and you really go in depth with it, and you show them. The opening is a guy's trying to make his suicide video, which is when they talk to camera and whatever, but the guy's gun is too small, and it just looks ridiculous. He's holding a tiny gun, and they're like, I'll sit closer to the camera, and he sits close to the camera, and they're like, cut. It was really funny, man. They show all these outtakes, and
that's great.
You really seem to have captured what these guys do.
But you get those, I mean, you get those in court cases. They come up. Sometimes they stop people before they get too far, and they intercept them before they make an explosive, and then you see the kind of evidence and some of that stuff. And there's guys basically sitting there doing their videos, and I mean, this is for real, and they kind of get halfway through some rant, and then they either run out of words. They're trying to describe the hell they're going to rain on our heads, and they just literally run out of words and stop and just look stupid. Or there's one guy saying halfway through, he goes, so what was the question again? Like, it really not.
So did you research some actual tapes? Like, how did you find out what they were doing?
Obviously, there's thing. I mean, because when you go to court, they're all too happy to. I mean, these guys who basically got 600 kilos of fertilizer, right? And they wanted to make it into a bomb. They'd gone to Pakistan to learn how to make it into a bomb. They'd come back. They'd had a few conversations, conversations about who's cooler, Bin Laden or Johnny Depp. Seriously, and then they realized they'd forgotten how to make a bomb. So they started phoning up Pakistan again, saying, yeah, listen, bro, the bomb recipe you told us, at which point the line goes dead. And then they're sitting around going, having ridiculous conversations. They call each other, one guy, there was 6 Pakistanis and a Moroccan. The Moroccan used to call the Pakistanis, you hairy hobbits. So he'd come into the room, and you'd hear this stuff. They had stoner conversations. They didn't know what one of them had a baby, had a Doberman, and they couldn't work. They didn't even know that a Doberman was a kind of dog. It's kind of really ridiculous conversations you wouldn't dare make up.
You always just assume they were great at one take. That they did it in one take.
Oh, they had that level of passion.
Yeah.
Then when you really think about it, it's like, how dumb would you have to be to have some other guy convince you?
Yeah, this
to
movie,
blow yourself up. I'm going to keep living.
But the guy that's doing the convincing, right? He's probably got to be brighter than the guy that's getting convinced.
You would think.
So that's why you get freakish things like qualified doctors sort of driving flaming cars into airports, which we had a few years ago. Qualified doctors.
Right.
Yeah.
You just humanized the whole thing. You really did.
Well, you love doctors. You love the doctor angle. There's engineers. There's nurses. What's your favorite
That's
profession?
That's nothing but doctors. Doctors brings it around.
I mean, I'm looking at Jimmy. There's so much we want to say about this movie, but we don't want to give away a lot of the punchlines.
I don't want to blow it, but the audience, I think, knows our sensibilities with comedies, and they always blow it. And this one didn't. It was really, really funny and smart and dark. Let's just say this. There were everybody does not live. I'm only going to say that. I'm not going to say everybody does not live, and you never see a death in a comedy. You just don't see it. Every time something happens, the guy gets out of the tank and he's okay.
Right.
And there are, let's just say,
He's got some soot on his face or something.
Happy or unhappy.
A couple of whoopsie daisies.
But there's weird rules about this, right? Because we all know talked for an hour. And it's not the kind of behavior you expect.
No.
From
wow.
Mr.
Did he eventually talk to him?
Wow.
Again? Yeah, he probably said, I'm going to do 3 more questions, and then I've got to go.
Wow.
Well, but he didn't. It's weird. But you would expect.
Did he eventually work for him?
No. But Bin Laden did speak to him at the end of the interview. He didn't.
He didn't just stay on the couch and go to sleep.
He didn't just throw him out.
He really is just a spoiled rich kid.
Yeah. There is a bit of that. I think there is a bit of that.
Spoiled rich.
Yeah, he got everything he wanted growing up.
Lawrence Wright's book, The Looming Tower, describes Bin Laden's life, and it is quite like that. I don't think he had it hard.
Is he, though? Was he like the real radical, or is it Al-Zawahiri, I think?
Yeah, no, he's
the Egyptian.
He's got all the words coming out of his mouth, hasn't he?
al-Zawahiri.
Yeah. He's the one. The Egyptian, I think, is the real fucking radical. Like Bin Laden, I guess, is the figurehead, and I'm sure approves of this stuff.
And the money.
Yeah, but I think the guy below him is the real
He's the one
problem.
who publishes all the documents, right? I mean, he's the one who comes up and does the newsletters. Bin Laden, I mean, do we know? I mean, do we even know when it's like a little note? He's gone a bit weird. You know, he does book pluggings and things. He does his rhetoric's come unraveled. The other guy's still right online, but I'm not sure. Somebody could be making that stuff up for Bin Laden. You know, remember he plugged a book a few years ago. That book, Rogue State. You know, he sort of said, "And I want you." Americans. I think it was just before the election, and he was saying, "I want you Americans to read a book."
More effective than Oprah.
Do you know what he was saying?
Bin Laden book club.
Hopefully, happy ending is on there, Jimmy.
Happy endings.
Right. We're in a date with Osama. He's like a hunk now. Everybody wants to fuck him.
Hey, you think Bin Laden's alive still? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm the expert, right?
Well, you know a little more than us.
Yeah, you've spoken to more guys than we have.
Yeah, but no one. I mean, you suspect maybe he is from the fact that there's still a search for him. But you know, I think the weird thing is that he's kind of over. You know, he's still a figurehead, but he's still a sort of Che Guevara type figure. But he's, you know, there's new things happening. It's kind of quite dispersed. It's
like music. Every 5 years, you need.
I mean, he had a difficult second album, didn't he? Yeah. And I'm not sure it's really, you know, it's not even in utero what he's done.
And where do you think he is? Where do you think he's at if he's alive?
What is that?
Where do you think he's at?
Where? This is great. This is going to be
because
if I say
you live in that world a little more in that world.
You made a movie about it. You got to know something.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Look, come on. You don't turn up at someone's house and say, you know, like you know, nice Pakistani family in Britain, and they say, come in, have some curry, and by the way, do you know where Bin Laden is?
Yeah,
we can tell you.
Where he is.
No, I mean,
what's the word on the street?
Listen, we could sit around here. We could name 5 cities, and you know they'd be toast by lunchtime. They'd be hit by drones. I don't know. I mean, they say he's hiding out in the mountains between Pakistan, but that's what we all think, right? I mean, what do you think? You think he's out somewhere else? You think he's kind of like on a beach?
He's in some. I guarantee it's just some village or in Pakistan where they.
But
can't...
he's got to hide out because he's a pretty recognizable guy.
Yeah. Do you know how we heard?
What disguise would you choose?
Big place. You can't find him. You can find Saddam in the bottom of a manhole, middle of a desert, but they just can't seem to get this guy.
Yeah, Bill's all about. I like Bill's thoughts on this stuff.
You think he's got theories?
No,
they can't. The religious. I'm telling you, the religious fanaticism. Even though they've got al-Zarqawi this way with the $25 million ransom, the religious fanaticism around guys who are that close to him, the money doesn't mean anything to them. It's like that's why they haven't caught the top 2 guys.
I can look at my apartment from space. On the internet, they can't find it. Get the fuck out. It's ridiculous.
Are you
just one guy?
I love Billy.
No, he's serious.
They could have sent in the Navy SEALs on the range. Those guys are punks.
I was a Navy SEAL.
They have shit training. You could have sent in the Navy SEAls to the Rangers. They could have slit the guy's throat. They could have done it in like 90 days.
Why are we leaving them alone?
There's no
then?
money in that. You got to send everybody over there. Send everything over there. $1 billion a day, and just make $1 zillion. We can't get the ref didn't see it. It's like wrestling.
But if they get him, doesn't it justify?
I don't know shit. I don't read books. It's just it's what my gut's telling me.
To send a shitload of equipment and manpower over there, and then you get some corporations for security. A lot of people make some money.
Yeah, but
do you
the
think
PR
it's like a mini-series or something? Do you think that's why you feel cheated that they've kind of like withheld the obvious
it's like
ending?
Sam and Diane. Eventually,
I can see what's happening. There's no one. So where is he? Does he live here or does he not exist?
He's in Rhode Island. He's down there at the yacht club.
Or is he in Langley?
Look,
is he in Langley?
He's a rich kid. There's no way he's going to slum it that long in a cave. He shaves the beard. It's a glue-on. He just puts it on. They make it look grainy. They have a cave set that they put behind him. And they shoot it, and then he hangs out in Newport.
Now, should we talk about moon landings?
Never happened.
Yeah, okay.
He's in a village somewhere. That's all. These fucking tribal fucking regions that are hard for us to get to, and I really believe that they just haven't gotten him. I think the PR behind getting him would be so much bigger than anything that they can gain by not getting him. It would make everything that the U.S. did, at least at one point, look justified. There's too many people that would look good if they
maybe we're just waiting. Give it a couple more years, then we'll get him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Talking to Chris Morris, because everyone's yelling, what's the movie, assholes?
It's called The Four Lions. We've said that. It's released in New York and L.A. Is there a website people can go to check out where it is?
Yeah, it's at Draft House Films.
Congratulations
Four
on
Lines.
Congratulations on the reviews, man.
Yeah, 86%
positive
how did we
reviews
do
all
that?
over the place.
Yeah, I
It's a
think
smart
people are
movie,
scared.
man. It's really, and it's funny. It's not smarmy smart and annoying smart. It's a funny fucking comedy. It's really well written. Go ahead, Bill.
What is that like the morning of when you have a movie coming out and you're like, oh God, here come the critics? Like, do you just say like, don't call me if it's bad? Or do you literally search it yourself? What is the process?
I think you kind of get warmed up because, it's a slow release and you can see how they work. But I think in this case, you're in a way it's quite easy, quite safe because, the easiest way for a critic to make a fool of themselves is to sort of declare expertise in this area. And in order really to comment on the film in some ways, it's kind of critic-proof, right? Because people don't know that much about the subject. I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating, but it's. Right. Do you know? The other thing is, by the time you've made the film, you sort of, I don't know, you've brainwashed yourself into your own world. So any critic is kind of quite a long way out there. They'd have to come up to you. I mean, they find ways of getting into your head. I've gone mad. I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. They've got to me. I can't. I'm in ribbons. I'm in bits. I don't know. Oh, look here. This is a list of cities.
Yeah,
We're bothered with that. So we've got New York, LA. We've got Seattle, Boston, DC, Austin, San Francisco. That's the first 7,
all the hip
and then we're
cities.
expanding to over 1,000.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
It should be out.
If people go and see it, maybe we'll expand to 12.
Oh, I'm glad it's in other cities. I thought just New York and LA. That's what I heard.
Does that make you feel better or worse?
Much better for you. Yeah.
No, because honestly, I know you're being sarcastic, but we fucking are frustrated by comedies, and this is a smart comedy.
Yeah, most of them is just.
We hate fucking comedies at this point.
What was the last one you liked? What was the last one you saw?
Observe and Report.
Observe and Report was a great movie
with Ray Liotta and Seth Rogen. It was like he was a mall security guard, but the dialogue was fucking.
It's
brutal.
Mall Cop if you did it right.
Yeah,
because the Mall Cop got all the money, but this Observe and Report was so much better and so much funnier.
Did you have any resistance from any studios in the U.S.? Did any criticism from the business itself?
You mean if we're trying to raise money?
Like to put it out, go, well, the subject's a little. Did anybody, these fucking jizzbags, they had to have come after you with that shit.
I think you can guess, right? And if you did the face you did there and the voice, I mean, that kind of sums it up. But we didn't have direct criticism, not direct intervention, because I think studios in the US didn't really care that much. But people did say that. The thing is that you get brave people. Often what you have is like in the same committee, brave people are just like, okay, yeah, we love this, and then other people just run and hide, and that's kind of the most frustrating thing because
are people really gonna go on? Want to? I
don't know who to root for in this.
Yeah, who's the winner?
Who am I rooting for?
Yeah, what's gonna make me like these characters? It's like, you fucking.
I just can't see this being interesting for 90 minutes.
Oh, shut up!
How many times you just looked at that pen and pencil set on the?
Are you guys
both fucking jugulars?
Do I sense the damage here?
Yeah, we've all had
pitched and you've had a lot of rejection.
I wrote a comedy
meetings.
It's like
just comes off as like misogynistic.
Dude,
what
if the guy is like retarded? I had a scene in a pilot that I wrote where it was a guy. He has a Super Bowl party and all these chicks come over and they talk during the game. No, and then they shut up during the commercials, which is basically what happens. And then in the end, the real sports fans who've been there the whole time end up watching it on a small TV in the kitchen. That's all it was.
Bill.
And it came off.
What was the problem?
It was it made women look bad. It was misogynistic.
What network? What network?
What was that one?
Lifetime.
Was it one of the majors?
What was that one?
What was that one? I can't even remember. That was.
It wasn't Comedy Central.
It might have been Fox. It's just anything.
Oh God.
Anything, and I got to admit, all this bitching that they do in the business, I find 80% of the time I'm pitching to a woman.
Always.
Yeah,
wow.
and I got to get it
past
beyond their sensibilities, and it's like everything that you just, I don't know, like anything that remotely.
You got to get clever, right? You got to just, keep the same script, but just swap the men and the women about.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Okay, and then once you got the right to make it, switch it back.
See, the women are the ones.
And then you play dumb. See, that's why you're making movies, and I'm
it's easy
thinking
to play
about
dumb.
stabbing people.
My film. It's so they're always worried about like how do you root for the guy, and it's like, and I think that in the Punchline Rapist, I think it'd be easy to root. He leaves a different Henny Youngman joke on every woman he brutally sodomizes.
Couldn't get that through, huh?
I just couldn't get it through.
It's too bad.
Yeah, there was a Henny Youngman issue, I think.
Couldn't get the rights to his jokes.
What Bill just said is, it's like, it makes me physically ill.
Yeah,
because
man,
you know that's what he's dealing with. It's
People want to come home and they want to forget their troubles.
And watch a film about suicide bombers. That's what they want to do. Look, I mean, you can kind of... Who were you rooting for in the film?
I liked all of them. I liked the guy who was, let's say, the smarter of all of them. But it was a matter of... I was rooting for all of them in a weird way. Not to do it or not do it, but just for the movie to have some kind of a funny conclusion. It was really weird. I didn't find myself rooting for the guy like, it's gonna happen, but I guess the Omar was the most likable, and in a way I was hoping that he would go in a certain direction. And I will say this, he did not go in the direction I wanted him to go in. He did not go in the direction I wanted him to go in, but in a way he did. Like his humanity, I liked his humanity. I know I'm double talking so I don't blow the ending, but it's not what you think it's gonna be. But it wasn't what I wanted.
You sound like the head of a corporation that did something wrong. Just talking in vague generalities.
I kind of got what I want.
He's being kind, right? He's being decent.
I don't want to fuck with your movie. I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted, but I didn't get what I wanted in a certain way, and that was fine.
We're currently exploring options to...
No, we'll discuss this movie in length, in a few weeks when people get a chance to see it.
Well, I gotta tell you, just listening to you guys talking about this, I'm definitely going to see it. This sounds hilarious.
I think you'd love it, Bill. It's a great movie.
I was a sap for the married guy with the kid. When you brought the kid into the equation, I'm like, oh, fuck, I hope this guy wakes up.
But it sort of comes in the wrong way, right? I mean, it's kind of like, it's an upside down.
You got me with that one.
What sort of message is this sending to the youth?
He's on his laptop planning shit, and the kid comes in the room. It's like, he's shutting the laptop, and his wife's...
He's watching a suicide bomber video with his fucking headphones in.
Just to see if it's good enough. And
what kind of message to send? Don't ever run while holding explosives. I would have to say that was...
Do you know, I mean, okay, there's a scene, I don't think it's giving too much away.
You give away whatever you want. It's your movie.
I know, yeah. But I'm foolish to myself.
Oh, okay.
There's a scene where a sheep gets blown up. The most common thing is, did a sheep really get blown up? Because, as if you're allowed to blow up a sheep unless you eat it, which we did, which is fine. So we did blow up a sheep and ate it, I mean, there's exploding animals, I think we should say.
Yes.
My co-writers, Sam and Jesse, they call it the film about the fucking crow.
I forgot about the bird.
Yeah.
There's one funny scene where they're all driving somewhere and they're moving explosives from a hideout to somewhere else because they think that they've been and the fucking car breaks down. And they keep yelling at the whole film to fix this piece of shit car. And they have to walk down the street holding bags of explosives. It was just a great fucking scene.
Almost like the Three Stooges.
Yeah,
it really is.
Except there was 5 of them and they wanted to murder Zionists.
I know, I understand that. But there's a Three Stooges thing happening in this movie.
But the thing that was scary about them was that you humanized them in a way which showed that they were radical. It showed their doubts about being radical. It showed how stupid what they were going to do. It showed how committed they are to what they do. And it's like you could interact with any one of those people. They were very fucking real people, which makes them more frightening.
Well, look, in real life, these, they don't go around with kind of suits on dressed as Ming the Merciless. It's sort of, and it's weird to imagine that actually they can be people like the head of the guys that bombed London was a sort of teaching assistant. People really liked him. He used to give lifts to kids who couldn't get to school on time. And so when he went and did something like that, people's heads, particularly people who worked with him, just went, what?
Yeah,
I remember that one.
The 9/11 attackers were all regular middle-class guys, or most of them were. It's like
some of them were quite odd.
Yeah,
I mean, like the leader of the cell when they lived in Hamburg, Mohammed Assa, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought this was possible. You'd say all those guys are so extreme. They're basically
big
going to
Scrabble fan.
Yeah, no, he used to eat nothing but mashed potato. He used to eat nothing but mashed potato and then sit there shoveling it into his mouth saying food is boring.
They are tasty.
Are you kidding?
No.
What
I'm not.
shits he must have taken?
No craving.
So he's one of those guys, he wanted to feel something.
Yeah. He just
that's what got his heart rate going.
A steering wheel and a fucking building.
But do you believe this, true or false, right? When he used to use the bathroom, the others used to tease him because he urinated so loudly. And he would come back and they'd all be laughing and like making him feel awkward. And he said, it's not me, it's nothing to do with me, it's the doors, the bathroom doors, they're Jewish. He actually said they used to call him. He was so strict that lot used to call him the Ayatollah. You wouldn't have thought that was possible.
Wow, yeah, it's
I mean, I'm crazy, but this guy,
this
guy's out of his mind.
This guy's really crazy.
I'll kill every man, woman, and child, but Jesus Christ, put some salt on the potatoes, you
lunatic.
There's a scene in the movie too where they break down and he accuses one of the car parts of being Jewish.
Exactly.
The spark plugs are Jewish. That's probably where that came from.
That's exactly where that came from. Yeah,
the writing is just amazing. A lot of fans on the phones here.
It's not about me, though.
Jonathan in Maryland. We're talking to Chris Morris, the director of Four Lions.
Oh, hi, Chris.
Hi, Jonathan.
How are you doing? I'm a big fan of your work. Jam, Brass Eye, Nathan Barley, and even your appearances on the IT Crowd.
Wow. Steady now. You've listed the whole lot.
You did one of my favorite comedy sketches ever in Jam, where the guy commits suicide by jumping off the second floor 42 times.
Yeah. I thought that was beautiful.
42 times.
Well, it was like the first floor balcony 40, just in case he changed his mind. But it was great to film that because, you have to put a stuntman through that 42 times. It was basic. And each time he sort of gets up and looks a bit more groggy. And then gets but, it's a way to do it, right?
Yes.
That's great that you kill people in comedies, though. That's not enough of that. It's like it's fucking funny.
It's great.
You got a question, Jonathan, or no?
Yeah, I do. Are you ever going to work with Charlie Brooker again?
I hope to, yeah. Charlie Brooker's a writer in Britain. This guy I wrote Nathan Barley with. He'll probably come over here and be huge in 5 years. It's very funny. And I hope to, yeah. We just kind of, we keep having meetings, and we just don't get it together. Maybe our brains are just turning slowly to grit and rubbish. But we hope to get one thing out. Maybe it'll be a 7-second podcast before we both shuffle off.
Oh.
I don't want to end on a downer. Yes is the hopeful answer. Yeah, come on.
All right.
Let's be hopeful about this. Happy ending.
Happy ending, yes. I've been waiting for a second series of Nathan Barley. I always wanted to find out what would happen.
For us that don't, I don't know.
What is Nathan Barley?
Yeah, we don't know what it's about.
It's about hipsters, basically. It's a sort of like a satire on the sort of people, a bit like Vice magazine, people who sort of try too hard to be cool. People who try too hard to be cool. Right. Then there's you get those in every generation.
Hipsters are great fodder.
I mean,
to goof on these days.
It's sort of. I mean, go on. You describe it.
Oh, yeah, it's more or less, it's about the new age of internet, how everyone's using YouTube. It's a mockery of it.
I don't go for that.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah, please.
There's no one to root for.
Who do you root for? They're just having fun.
What is the message?
So
the message is everyone's an idiot.
So was it a series or a film?
It was 6-part series.
Oh, 6-part series. Oh, see, the fucking British know 6 and you're done. That's The Office, 2 seasons, 6 each season.
You're looking at big fans of the British Office there, Chris.
Yeah,
huge fan.
I mean, really.
The American version's better though.
I'm kidding. It was all right at first.
But you guys,
we don't know when to get off. We don't.
Some great things go on. Sometimes great things go on for ages, and I really don't understand where that comes from. Something like South Park, on and on and on.
Right?
How does that happen? Is it kind of different? Cartoon, like you got to work hard here. Maybe we're just lazy.
No, I think because they're dealing with topical material.
Yeah, they didn't. They haven't jumped the shark
at all.
And there's no aging, right? And as in real life, nobody gets old, nobody dies, so you can have the same characters.
You don't got to bring in that awful kid character.
You can bring in dead people. You can do whatever you want in a cartoon.
Except for your Empire, you went a little long with that.
Yeah, sure, but I mean
that was
the EastEnders might have seen better days. Fucking season 40. I've never even seen. I just know it's a show.
The whole point of that is it just kind of stumbles on, and people still watch it.
How many years has that been on?
Oh, at least 20.
Okay.
Wow. Really
It's like Days of Our Lives, I guess, or one of those soaps. I like that. I'm McDonald Carey.
McDonald Carey for Days of Our Lives. And it's like
decades of our lives.
The person that was like the young hot broad is now the matriarch of the family. She's been coming into work every fucking day, filming those god-awful soap
Except when
operas.
she's getting her face yanked back.
Then they write her out. She's on vacation.
Yeah. I fucking, you want off the subject, but I went to Chiller Theater last week to meet some of these, like, I love these old actors and these obscure celebrities, and it was getting photo with the Dallas cast, and I Dream of Jeannie, and just Charlene Tilton and some of the older, Larry Hagman looks the same, but the rest of them, it's like, oh, God.
He's got that new liver.
Does he really look the same?
Yeah, but he's sitting there. But I mean, he still looks good for Larry. I mean, he was making. Why are you signing shit? He was making $250,000 in like '79 an episode.
Yeah, why does he have to sit there?
What did he do with his money?
Because he had a mortgage.
Got a liver.
They shook it up. They shook it up. I'm telling you.
You think he had health insurance?
Yes, SAG and AFTRA.
Drank like crazy.
Oh, is he a drinker?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had to
He's
get
a
a new
big-time
liver.
drinker. All right.
He was ready to die. He was like a day away from death, and then, of course, they got the celebrity liver on the platter. Well, we found one for you, Mr. Hagman.
And so they canceled his health insurance right before they found some sort of pre-existing condition.
Why not?
Patrick Duffy was there.
Was he there?
Yeah,
How
he
did
looks.
Yeah.
Fucking.
What about Charlene Tilton?
Yeah.
Is she tilting the scales these days? Get it?
No, but you know what? I think I have my picture on here. I'll show you.
Actually, did a benefit the day before Halloween, and there was a woman who was the same age as that's the lady who played I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes,
that was Barbara Eden.
She was wearing that outfit, and she was like in her early 60s, and she had the midriff out and everything. It was back out. It was just. It was like.
Did you not feel a respect at some level, a respect for that?
Yeah, I did because you know what it looked like? It looked like after someone lands with a parachute. Not when the air's completely out of it, when it's just sort of half full. That's what her back looked like. It was, and I know
that's the most beautiful description of that condition I think I've ever heard.
It was very delicate.
Collapsing canopy. Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, I usually don't pick on someone like that. What's she supposed to do? But she doesn't care.
Can I see too,
She
Jimmy?
doesn't look that bad. She looks older.
Let me see.
But they show the
Just turn
picture
that
of her
around.
behind.
That's a little rough.
Right, she could look worse.
Maybe get the
She
other
could look
picture off the
worse.
wall.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have the pictures up there so people know who they are.
I got
a
a picture
lot
of
of
where's Larry Hagman? He still looks pretty much.
Look at Jimmy's
Larry.
pictures.
Yeah, really.
I know. I'm sorry. We got to throw
Big time director, hot movie, and we're looking at your celebrity photos.
Sorry about that. We're just talking about old people.
Jimmy loves his celebrity photos.
No, but
by the
come
way.
on, Larry Hagman. It's like, come on.
Larry looks great.
I told you he does.
Let me see
No,
Larry.
nobody wants to talk
Let me
shit.
see-
Did you go see Larry?
Show me now, because I talk shit.
You know, Bill and Chris see Larry. Everybody else goes to fuck themselves, and they wonder what Larry looks like. We talk movies again.
Do you go to cinema, when you go to see films? Do you say I'm just going to go to a theater where they let you take out your laptop and look at your pictures?
I actually bother people during the climax of the movie. Look, I met the guy who worked with this actor once. You get it? Shut up.
There's an obsession there, Chris. He
Shit, it's
loves his celebrity
fantastic.
photos.
I think it would be dangerous if you put a lid on that. I think you've got to let it.
I really
let
do.
it breathe.
Oh,
let it out.
it's fun.
Let it breathe.
Let it out.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I know.
one of those people
Stalker.
on that laptop is dead.
Yeah,
If you're not
yeah,
allowed to show the
exactly,
pictures to people.
Certain people
we
are laughed
know-
at for their obsession. Mark David Chapman. Come on, let it go. It's unhealthy. So how was this film released in Britain already? Can we talk about this on a show on Fox about 6 months ago? They showed the scene where they're buying.
The bleach.
Yeah, and he's like, how do you just? He's like, you going to the same place to buy all the bleach? And he goes, yeah, but I change my voice every time. And he has a beard. They're like, but you're the same guy. He's like, and they did 3 voices, and he did one. He goes, well, what's this voice? And he goes, well, it's an IRA guy. He goes, that's a terrorist. Why would you make a terrorist voice? Fucking great.
That is great.
And then how he covered up his beard.
Oh, because he says he's a woman. And they're
Yeah.
like, but you've got a beard. He goes, I cover it. And he's got his hands over his face.
Yeah, just
Dude, I
ridiculous.
laughed out loud at that movie.
Well, you know what's it's
that's
scary, kind of, when we played it in Britain, we got requests, and it's actually happened here as well, that sort of police departments or people who work in anti-terror say, oh, can we play this to our kind of like recruits as almost like a training video? And you think, no, it can't be that. What? You really going to be, is it because you take real life and you kind of exaggerate it a bit for a film, but then they're playing it back into the system as if like, no, this is the kind of guy you got to watch out for.
This is what you're going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
It's who you should
I don't know.
profile.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
That's very strange.
All good
Not
actors, too,
surprised,
by the way. All
Oh,
great.
maybe they just want to. Yeah, they're great. They're
All
great,
those guys were
actors, yeah.
fucking terrific. Are any of those guys? Because there's some guys that are huge in Britain that we don't know.
Yeah, are they
here.
famous?
Any of those guys really big over there?
They're on the way up. I mean,
Okay.
one guy, Kayvan, who plays Wadge, does a sort of phone jacker thing. You know, he phones people up. He's great on voices, so you know he does that, and then he's doing it in real life too.
Which
with
guy
kind
is
of
he?
masks. He plays Wadge, the not so bright one.
Oh, he's the guy that
The
had like
least
the weird
bright
little
one. No,
Spoiler
Wadge is
alert.
like you know, he's Omar's brother. He's Omar's buddy.
Is he the
you know, it's
confused
like,
guy?
yeah, it's in my heart and in my brain, the confused guy.
Oh, yeah.
Confused face, yeah. Takes a picture of his face to see if he's confused, yeah.
Oh, God, that was
but he does a
hilarious,
great
too.
show, phone jack.
Am I confused?
I forgot about that. That was.
Yeah.
I got to pop this in right when I get home.
Dude, I should have called you yesterday and told you.
in.
It's because a lot of times we don't want to watch the film because a lot of times we just
Quite understand.
Lazy.
But it was so great.
So let's talk about the other films that are coming out on Friday in quite a negative way.
Yes, of course.
Megamind. Have you seen Megamind?
Fuck that stupid animation.
Fuck cartoons.
That's Kazoo from the Flintstones. They just reworked it.
Exactly.
You don't have to worry about that film.
That wasn't kind of a review. It was just a kind of like avalanche of negative noise. It was pretty What
other movies are coming out Friday?
That works, though. That
Due
works.
Date.
Huh?
Even if you liked it,
Due Date.
You can wait to see that till next week because that'll be around longer. This is in less theaters, so go see this.
And that's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Exactly.
Seen it already.
It is.
I think it is, too.
It looks just like it.
I think they made that movie already.
But every generation wants
Isn't
their...
that Zach through the glass there?
It does look like Zach.
Is he one of your guys?
Yeah.
He does look like
Devin.
Zach.
He does. He get a lot of times people come up in New York about 3 or 4 times already.
Oh, my
You
God.
go to a restaurant, people go,
Holy shit.
Yeah, suddenly you get golden service until he says, no, I'm not him, and then it's gone away.
Why would he do that? Just go with it.
Of course he should, or just tell people he's kind of a fat, like, Unabomber. That's what he looks like. Ted Kaczynski.
Hey, you know, I wanted. That was a question I had. If some woman thinks he's Zach Galifianakis, right? He doesn't reveal that he isn't, and he bangs her. Is he in trouble on any level? Is that some sort of form of rape?
Look-alike going
What
around?
shit is going to I'm just asking.
What do you look like, Bill?
Yeah, how's this going to work out for you?
I think maybe DNA, alibis, things like that.
Happy Days thing going on here. What's he called?
And please say, Ralph Malph. I've always looked way more like Ralph Malph. They always say Ron Howard.
Yeah, I'd say Ron Howard.
What you should do is here's what you do. You fuck the girl, and as you're coming, you say, I'm not Zach.